Hey folks, Chief Meteorologist Michael Bowling here along with meteorologist Noah Trombley and Dan Dickens. We expect to be with you for quite a while now. We got our first tornado warning that has been issued in the southern portions of Baylor County. It does not include any of the northern portions of Throckmorton County at this time. That's because it's two different National Weather Service offices that operate these. But right now it does look like it'll probably stay north of the Throckmorton County line. We'll have to watch to see if it does make more of a southeasterly turn, and we'll have to watch it for Young County too. But Archer County, this is going to approach you, and it's currently in Baylor County. Let's go ahead and zoom in on it there, Noah, if we can. Go ahead and zoom in onto that tornado warning. Now, as you get closer to the areas, around Round Timber there, and then you get to Westover, and then also you get further down the line into McGargle, it actually does look like it includes just a far southwestern edge of Archer County right now with this warning. But this is our area of circulation, and this is a little bit earlier in the day than we were anticipating these storms to start to develop. But before we go into all the details behind that, remember, we want to stay in an interior small room, small bathroom, small closet. That's going to be usually the best spot to be unless you have a storm shelter, whether it's a below ground or above ground storm shelter. That's going to be the best spot to be too. But the goal is to put as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible. I'm going to go ahead and start and just say this as a blanket statement. If you live in a mobile or manufactured home today, I want you to go ahead and start getting to a safer structure. This is a day where we are expecting these storms to get strong very quickly, and they do have the potential to produce large, damaging tornadoes. And you do not want to be in a mobile home if this occurs today near you. Now, let's go ahead and go through all the other precautions. Let's just go through the basic tornado safety things as we can just go ahead and start that out.
I just wanted to give you the time stamps right there, Michael.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see the time stamp. Sorry. Yeah, Round Timber you get there for 346, Westover 351, McGargle 357. And this is, I know it's a very narrow warning. It's on an easterly track. What's the direction or speed of this storm?
And that is east.
East at
25.
East at 25, okay. So it's not a particularly fast-moving storm, but it's a bit faster than the last couple of strong supercells that we had. So this will be traveling to the east, though, at 25 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and go over our tornado safety tips now. Okay. So, of course, once again, this is if you get a warning. If you want to get in a storm shelter, if you have it, obviously those are great to have this time of year. Basement or the lowest floor, if you happen to have that. Basement, a lot of us don't have basements around here. Our clay is so thick it's hard to build them. But if you do happen to have a basement, that's going to be a great spot to be too. But generally speaking, if you don't have either of those things, interior small room on the lowest floor of your building. If you live in an apartment complex today, make some friends downstairs. You want to be downstairs in the lowest floor of that building and see if you can seek shelter with them. But generally speaking, it's about putting as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible here as we go into this evening. Now, cover your head. Start thinking about these things too. If you can go get a bicycle helmet out of the garage, go ahead and start getting that for the rest of this day just so you have it right there and ready to go, because that's going to be really the best thing to have on your head. But you can grab a pillow off the bed, grab a couch cushion, and put it over your head, because most people die in tornadoes from blunt force trauma to the head. And so that you really want to have something to protect your head here as we go throughout this evening. Now, for those of you that still are kind of thinking about, okay, what do we need to do? Start thinking about your safe place now. If you live outside of a current tornado warning, you need to start thinking about all these things. Now, pick a place to meet. If the worst happens and you do get hit by a storm and a bad tornado, pick a landmark that's going to survive through that bad tornado so you can meet with family members and friends. Start thinking about that kind of thing. Now, also, gather some medicines. Charge your phone. Get some sturdy shoes and a jacket. Sturdy shoes because you don't know what you'll be walking through after a tornado passes. A jacket because there's going to be more storms in the area. It could be raining outside or still have some debris in the air. And then also charge your phone, of course. We all need to have our cell phones in today's day and age. So go ahead and make sure that's charged up. And you don't want to lose your medicines either as we go into the evening. Now, I believe Kyle Guthrie is on this storm. I'm going to see what he's got going on. If we can, I don't know if we have him connected to the TVU yet, and obviously get him on the phone. But that is a strengthening circulation there, Noah, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't look overly impressive on the velocity signature, but it definitely looks...
Thing is that, you can see it. It does not look very good on the velocity signature. I'm looking at it on radar scope, and it's like, okay, that's...
Yeah.
It's there, but it doesn't look nearly as impressive as that does. That clear you got that clear inflow right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously, it looks pretty good on reflectivity there, but these circulations on a day like today, they could strengthen very quickly. So any kind of circulation that's going on, we got to watch it closely.
I mean, Michael, if probably everyone should remember Thursday, that circulation popped up very quickly. It looked like it was dying, and then it popped right up in like probably 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was weakening. We thought it was weakening it for a little while, but it went up, and it went up fast. Now, we kind of talked about this one once again. Southern Baylor County, already start being aware in southern Archer County too. But in southern Baylor County, you need to be in your safe spot right now. Now, we have a couple other storms that are starting to develop pretty quickly. Another little core going up here on this one that's in the northern portions of Baylor County. Also, you got this one that's going through Wilbarger County, pushing off to the east right here. That's going to be a concerning storm too, but I do think it's going to interact with this other cell. We'll see what happens after they interact to see if it completely kills the convection, which I doubt it will, honestly, because we have an extremely unstable environment today, so I don't expect it to die off too fast here. Now, let's look further north from there, too, and you see some more cells, and this one's actually looked like it just split again. So we might have a right mover here that's developing in the northern portion of Wilbarger County. We'll have to watch left mover.
I'll pause it here at the end. You can see one cell here and then one cell here.
Yeah, and that left mover's really pushing more northerly here into more portions of Jackson County. This could be a large hail producer still, so we got to watch that one for the hail threat, but this is going to be the one further to the south. If that one survives and keeps moving to the east, that's going to be a tornado threat on that one. Now, let's zoom out. Let's show the entire DMA. And then, oh yeah, we got a new warning here. This is a left mover that's going into barely into the far northwestern portions of Throckmorton County on that warning. But in Haskell, we don't technically can have you as part of our market, but if you know people in Haskell, they're probably about to get some hail pretty quickly here. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in on this one again. Let's look at the velocity again, as it still has that nice hook. But you're really losing.
The velocity signature is just looking worse and worse.
Yeah, it doesn't look particularly organized. Now, I do want to mention, though, we're kind of in a radar gap here as we get into the southern portions of Baylor County. It's a little bit too far away from the radar down at Diaz Air Force Base, further down to the south, and it's also a little bit too far to the south from the one that's up in Frederick. So it's kind of in a weird spot where it's hard to get good low-level scans on it, but any kind of circulation that we see today, we're anticipating it could become tornadic fairly quickly. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on those. Now, let's see here.
Also to remember, whenever you have a tornado warning like this, not only are we dealing with a possible tornado, we're also dealing with 2-inch diameter hail. So we're dealing with just slightly larger than a golf ball size hail. So while the tornado threat is obviously the biggest concern, hail threat's still there.
Yeah. Still going to be a big hail threat. We also are going to be watching for some gusty winds today, 60, 65 miles per hour possible with some of these storms right now. It's not a particularly great day for strong straight-line winds, but it's still a concern with any of these storms, especially when we start talking about RFD surge winds on the southwest flank of these storms. Those can still produce very strong winds. Usually, if we're going to get a strong RFD surge, we probably already have a tornado warning on it, so you should already be in your shelter if that occurs near you, but that's still going to be another thing that we watch throughout today for some stronger winds.
They're going to continue the tornado warning until 4.
Yeah. Okay.
So right now there's no reissuing of this tornado warning.
All right, we got Kyle on the line. Kyle, what are you seeing right now in the storm? Hey, Kyle, can you hear me? Okay, I don't think we can hear Kyle right now. I guess he's having a hard time hearing us maybe, but it looks like he's driving towards the storm. He can't really tell a whole lot on that shot that he has right now, but he is heading that way, I'm sure, towards the storm at this point in time. So if we can figure out if we can...
Back to you, Michael.
Oh, he was talking. I didn't have Kyle in my ear. Can we until the very end there? Kyle, I was probably talking over you there because I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, absolutely. We're on 114 at FM 1285, and we are watching the storm right now. There is no funnel cloud or no tornado on the ground at this point. We are watching it. There was a rotating wall cloud and a couple of funnels, brief funnels there for just a few minutes in western parts. But other than that, nothing screams tornado at this point.
Okay. Well, it looks like your shot's frozen, so you stay safe down there, and we will catch back up with you here in a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and show the tornado watch. It is a particularly dangerous situation watch. This is the third one we've had this year. But yeah, it is a new tornado watch, has been issued. Does not include our westernmost counties. Does not include Hardeman County, Ford County, or Knox County. But they do particularly dangerous situation because it's just a day where it looks like some of those stronger tornadoes are a little bit more likely than other days. And we've actually had 2 tornadoes that occurred on non-particularly dangerous situation days. So they really don't want us to focus too much on it. I put it up there because that technically is what it is. But they really don't want us to focus too much on the particularly dangerous situation part. Just know tornadoes are fairly likely today as we go throughout this evening. So here, it does not include, once again, Hardeman County, Ford County, or Knox County. Originally, it was going to cover all of our counties, but they decided to leave those 3 counties out here. So it is until 11 o'clock. I don't think storms will stay in Texoma until 11 o'clock. I think there's a better chance that they can still last until 9, 10 p.m., so it is going to be a long day here. But they also initiated a little bit earlier than we previously thought. Let's show the radar again. Let's just stay on the broad view for a second. We can kind of talk about what we can expect today. So one of the things that happened is these storms initiated a couple hours earlier than the forecast models had. For one, that's obviously going to make it a little bit of an earlier day for these storms. It also does mean that we could technically have more development behind these storms because we have a little bit more of a time frame, but it also means that these initial storms aren't going to get the strengthening low-level jet that we'll get as we go into the evening. Really, the best chance to get tornadoes is around 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and that's because our low-level jet kicks up quite a bit. And that's what we've seen in the last couple of times we had bad storms. They lasted a little bit longer into the evening. Of course, we had that large tornado on Thursday. And by the way, we did get the report on that. It was over a mile wide. That was a very powerful tornado in Jackson County that we had on Thursday evening. So do we have the chances for that today? Yes, we do. Just to be blunt. There is a chance for large tornadoes as we go throughout this evening.
Just want to say, Michael, so they're going to do they did a new severe thunderstorm warning for Wichita. You can see there, let me just go here, for Wichita and, okay, so that's the new one up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it does include Electra.
Okay, yeah, that one is for, that is going to be golf ball and 60. The one there in western Wichita, and this new one for Baylor and Archer.
Yeah, it is going to include includes Windthorst. It's going to include Scotland too. Archer City obviously included in this one. McGargle included in this one. That's for our tornado warned storm. That's your thunderstorm warning. It's not a tornado warning for that entire area, but this is for that same storm.
I mean, we thought this on Thursday, Michael, but I will say this: they're going tornado possible on that severe thunderstorm warning, so maybe that means they're going to let the tornado warning expire?
Usually they don't issue a large severe thunderstorm warning like that unless they're considering maybe letting the tornado warning drop for a second.
Yeah.
But any severe thunderstorm warning today, y'all, I want you to take it seriously. Do not go out and look for things. This is a day where we all need to be extremely cautious throughout this late afternoon into the evening because these storms, any storm that forms, could be potentially capable of all hazards.
Because I wanted to point out on here, Michael, that you've got that original inflow boundary here, but the storm looks like it could be cycling, and now we get another inflow back in here, and we could possibly see a hook develop in here.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, we'll have to watch it. It could be cycling. I mean, obviously it had a velocity signature earlier on that was a little bit more impressive, and then it kind of lost it. We're going to see cycling happen a lot today, but the storms themselves, we do not expect them to die. This is not a day where these storms are going to die. They're going to be on the ground. They're going to be traveling, not tornado-wise, but the storm itself will be traveling for over 100 miles. There's a good chance for that.
It's important to note wall clouds still noted by spotters south and east. Oh, now we got a wall cloud spotted south and east of Seymour.
Okay, so let's go ahead. I think that's...
Oh, yeah, that is going to be the guy, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's the same storm, yeah.
Okay, so yes, but so the wall cloud's still spotted, so...
Okay, so still have a wall cloud in the storm, even though the velocity doesn't look great right now, doesn't mean it can't kick back up and start producing something large and dangerous here. So that's going to be our velocity signature on this one, and then, obviously, like you just said, there's still a wall cloud on this storm. So in southern Baylor County, I still want you to be in your safe place, once again, away from the exterior walls or windows, small bathroom, small closet. And I'll say this again, and for people that are joining us right now, start thinking about your safe place now. throughout this evening. And unfortunately, it's just one of those days where we have to be extra prepared. If you live in a mobile home today, I want you to leave that mobile home now and find a sturdier structure. If you live in an apartment building, make friends with your neighbors downstairs. We want to get to the lowest floor of your building. We do not want to be in the second or third floor of an apartment building. That's just not a safe spot to be with tornadoes. Okay, so yeah, we're still not seeing much on the velocity signature right now.
I'm trying to see if I can find anything better on radar scope, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, and then the one, let's talk about the one that's a little further north. It just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning further north. And then, yeah, so this is going to be our new one that just got issued. Includes much more of Tillman County, includes a far eastern portion of Jackson County, southwestern Comanche County, and then does it get to the edge? Yeah, it gets to the edge there, just outside of Cotton County. Far northwestern portions of Wichita County does not include electro in that one, but this is going to be for some golf ball or larger sized hail, and also 70-mile-per-hour straight line wind gusts. So
it says they are watching an area of convergence with a storm west of Frederick.
Storm west of Frederick, okay. So, yeah, you can kind of see this is that right mover that we were just talking about a second ago, that if it could hold together, it could bring some stronger rotation. So here's our area of convergence. It's got the air that's going away from the site in Frederick, and the air that's going towards the radar site up in Frederick, and that's going to be your converging air. That's going to be the next area that we watch for rotation. I'll also go ahead and note this. This is going to be different than a lot of our other storm coverage days where we're just covering one storm constantly. We're going to be bouncing around a lot today, folks, because there's going to be more widespread convection on a bad storm day than we've seen in a while. So that's just how it's going to be today. We're going to go back to every storm. We're going to cover them all. Just wait. We're going to just cycle through all of these as we go throughout. Now, there is that area that's further to the north, and that's going to be the area we were just talking about. No, actually, it's not the area that we were just talking about. Well, zoom back out. We're going to see a lot of warnings today. Okay, no, that's going to be that area. And so this one, though, is still going to be a concern for hail. It's going to get pretty close to Altus here. It might stay just to the east of town, but that's also a good chance for golf ball or larger sized hail with that storm. So let's look at the Wichita County one that's going into Wichita County here. Now this area is going to be our left mover, I believe. Yeah, so we still have, once again, Electra is still in a severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warning this far north at this time, but this activity is going to push. So we got this activity that's pushing east. You got this activity that's pushing northeast. They're going to interact here. We'll see what happens after they're done interacting. Let's see what happens after they're done trying to decide which one's going to dominate as these storms move to the east and to the northeast at the same time. They're going to about to run right into each other.
So they are going to let this tornado warning expire at the top of the hour.
Okay, they are? Okay.
So we're just going to monitor trends after that.
What we might do is we might go back to intermittent coverage because we got to also save our energy and for a long evening and save our voices too. So we're going to go on and then we'll probably go back off for a little bit and then we'll continue to do intermittent updates. But this also gives us a little bit more time to really figure out which storms we need to focus more on because we can do a little bit more analysis when we're not on air.
There's your inflow right there and then the hook here right behind it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the velocity again.
Still not looking that impressive.
Yeah, it's not. But you do have some air right here in the southern portion of it that is going away from the radar site up in Frederick. You know, it's kind of more diverging air, but that is at least some shearing that you can see in the low levels. Let's go ahead and do the wide view again. Let's go ahead and show the reflectivity. And so, yeah, just several thunderstorms popping up. Once again, I'm looking for anything that's good news today. And right now, some of the good news is they are popping up so close to each other that there's going to be some storm-to-storm interaction, and that can really inhibit producing large tornadoes like we saw on Thursday when that storm was just by itself. It had all the room to itself. It had wide open southern end of it, which was allowing it to get better inflow into the storm. So this is going to be the area. These are all the areas that we're going to be watching, though.
Yeah, this one to the north by heading towards was Davidson. They mentioned in the chat the reflectivity doesn't do it justice, but that does it justice. You can see how strong the velocities are getting in front of these storms.
Yeah, and they just issued a new warning here. Let's go ahead and talk about that one. Let's see here. Which one was that just got issued?
Archer,
it's this one.
Archer, Baylor.
Further to south.
Yep, right here.
Yeah, there we go. So this does include Iowa Park, does not include Wichita Falls, includes Holiday, Cadane Corner. It's just north of Dundee, but Dundee, you already have a severe thunderstorm warning. And then Lakeside City, it's still to the west of you, but this is activity that is moving towards Wichita Falls, Lakeside City, and the rest of Wichita County. This is going to be for the possibility some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some golf ball or larger size hail.
We did have a train spotter say the wall cloud on that southern Baylor County storm halfway to the ground, so they're going to reevaluate the tour expiration.
Okay, so yeah, that's one of those things that they are, halfway to the ground.
Yeah, that radar signature is becoming a
probably,
little bit more prevalent.
That's probably a large, yep, there it is. And that's probably going to be a large wall of cloud if it's halfway to the ground. So in McGargle, I want you to take special note of this one. If we get a new warning, you're going to be right on top of it. Wait, Kyle, did you say something?
Hey, there is a large wall cloud just west of McGargle. We're coming into McGargle now. We can see the wall cloud.
Okay. I'm having a hard time seeing it on your shot there. You probably in a little bit of rain.
Yeah, it's just to my south, Michael. We're rolling east right now. I'll give you a better shot shortly.
Okay. Sounds good, Kyle. You stay safe there. So he has also a confirmation of a large wall cloud right now in southern Baylor County. It's getting close to McGargle, in and around McGargle now. I want you to be in your safe spots as we go into this evening, or go through the next 30 to 35 minutes as the storm passes over you. And once again, it's away from exterior walls, windows, small bathroom, small closet, lowest floor of your building. If you got a storm shelter, obviously that's the best spot to be. But if you don't, get to one of those spots. Okay, so trying to stay updated on all these things. So yeah, we're getting it still doesn't look like your classic little supercell look right there, but it is once again, this is further away from the radar site in Frederick. You know, when we had that storm on Thursday, it was really the perfect distance. It wasn't too close to the radar site, it wasn't too far away. We were getting a perfect look at it on radar. This one, we're not going to get that perfect look. It's a little bit too far away from the one that's to the north and too far away from the one that's to the south. But yeah, there's going to be your area of some converging air. It's going to be some strengthening rotational area on this storm, and that's where we're seeing that large wall cloud. And Kyle's working to get us a shot of that, and I'm sure he'll let us know when he's got it. So they are increasing, so they're keeping the severe thunderstorm warning going. They've increased the hail size in the storm to tennis ball sized hail. Yep. That's another thing, y'all, that's going to happen today. This is a pretty bad day for hail. We still have a few questions about exactly how high the tornadic threat is, but the hail threat is extremely high today. We are expecting some storms that could produce softball or even larger sized hail today. This is a day that is just primed for hail. Tons of instability. We haven't had a day with this much instability in a long time. The question is how much that instability holds into the evening when our wind shear kicks up with a low-level jet. Okay. So Kyle's still driving. He's going to keep driving until he gets to a safe spot to give us his shot. And there's a shot. Yep, that's a wall cloud. Arguably, Kyle, is that a funnel that you're seeing?
Arguably a funnel cloud. It is rotating.
Okay, so we got a rotating funnel cloud on this storm now. Yep, with a large wall cloud. Right there in the middle is going to be that rotating, potentially rotating funnel. And it is coming down. It's going a little bit lower to the ground. I don't see any dust being kicked up by it, but that is it's getting lower to the ground there. So yeah, that is going to be our funnel. Don't see any dust being kicked up. Can you see any dust there being kicked up there, Kyle?
No dust yet. No dust yet. We are watching it very closely. It's right here on Hall Road and 114.
Okay. Yeah, but that is definitely a funnel. I'm not gonna no two ways about it. That is a funnel coming down out of that storm. This is going to be, once again, southern Baylor County. And southern Baylor County moving into southern Archer County. And McGargle. You need to be in your safe spot. This is the closest to you right now. You want to be away from the exterior walls and windows, small bathroom, small closet. If you got storm shelter, that's the best spot to be. Also, we're going to be seeing a good chance for some 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts now being issued for the storm. That's going into let's see here. So it's about to approach Davidson. 80-mile-per-hour winds for southern Tillman County. This
very strong winds on this Davidson storm.
Yeah. This will cause your wireless emergency alerts to go off. When we get up to 80-mile-per-hour winds in southern Tillman County, I want you to also just stay away from the exterior walls and windows. This is when we see debris get carried a little bit more often. Trees get knocked down, especially if you have a tree nearby your home. Go ahead and get away from the windows.
There's 80 miles per hour on that.
Yeah, and you obviously don't want to be outside when this hits. We talked about straight line winds. They can be deadly. They killed 4 people in Houston this last week. We all heard about those 100-mile-per-hour winds they had. Straight line winds can still be deadly situations, and that's going to be the strong winds. It's moving right into Davidson right now. It's going through southern Tillman County. Eventually down the line, Hollister, Frederick, you're going to see these winds approach you too in the southern portion of Tillman County, moving into more of Tillman County. So, like I said, stay away from the exterior walls and windows, especially if you have a tree nearby your home, because this can knock down trees easily and could knock it into your home and cause some damage or injury to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about some of these other storms. We haven't talked about them in a second. That rotation actually looked a little weaker. I just noticed it, but we still have a clear sign of a funnel on that storm. They have not reissued the tornado warning. That's one thing that I want to note here. They have not.
I let them know that we saw the funnel cloud development.
Yeah, I saw that. You did that. Good job. So in Wichita County, though, we still have this activity that's trying to organize and move in through the rest of the county here. It's going to be the western half of Wichita County still. Well, really the western 2/3 of Wichita County. That's going to be
these very severe thunderstorm warnings. Here.
Yeah, that's going to be going up towards Kiowa now. That's going to be for the potential of golf ball-sized hail, I believe, on this portion of the storm. But it
ping pong. They've lowered it to ping pong.
Okay, ping pong ball-sized hail.
Reissuing the tornado warning.
Okay, they are going to reissue the tornado warning. So, but that activity is going to stay southeast of. It's likely going to stay mostly to the southeast of Altus, but in Altus, I still would anticipate maybe a little bit of small hail rolling towards you. So we just talked about McGargle. McGargle, you got to be in that safe spot. Away from exterior walls and windows, small bathroom, small closet. Further down the line, let's zoom in a little bit here into the rest of this activity. So if you live along Highway 79 or near Highway 79, this can be Texas State Highway 79, south out of Archer City, you also want to be in your safe spot. It does not include, well, Windthorst, you're on the edge of it. Windthorst, you're not technically, or if you live just south of Windthorst on along 281, if you live south of the southern part of town, or if you're in anywhere in and around Windthorst, I would advise you at least get ready to get to your safe spot. Start thinking about it right now. If you live south of Windthorst in southeastern Archer County, along Highway, along 281 there, or Texas State Highway 16, you've got to be in your safe spot too. Away from the exterior walls, windows, small bathroom, small closet. I'm going to say that 1,000 times today. But as we go into McGargle, and then Albany, you're not included in this warning, but still take note of it. Because if it does take a southeasterly turn, which some of these storms could potentially do, you would be right by it. But you're not included in that warning just yet. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. They do have a severe thunderstorm warning on that one. Okay, so the Fort Worth office did issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm, but they did not issue the tornado warning. So still in Albany, I still want you to take note of that because you could still impact you too.
Yeah, they went ping pong and 60 on that one for Young County.
Okay. So, new tornado warning coming southwest of Frederick. Let's go ahead and talk about that one. So let's go up towards Frederick. Go ahead and give me the velocities on this. I'm guessing it's this one. Yeah, you see that's some of that converging air there. And you also got the strong 80-mile-per-hour straight line winds that are coming in too. And you got some of this air that's going away from the radar side in Frederick. Air is going towards it with this storm. It's moving quickly to the east. This is going to be some converging air that could produce a tornado as well. That doesn't look super organized just yet, but it could organize quickly, especially when you got these strong 80-mile-per-hour straight line winds coming up from the south. It's going to go right over the radar side in Frederick. One thing that I'm worried about right now is I pray to God it does not damage the radar.
So they're saying it's because of constructive interference from cell to south. So this is one of those circumstances where the storm to the south is actually going to help the tornado development. Okay.
They just talked about that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, constructive interference, velocity coupling increasing. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about with those strong 80-mile-per-hour straight line winds coming up from the south. Usually when these storms hit each other, they hurt each other. This one's helping. So that's not good news there. Here's our tornado warning. It does include Frederick, of course, includes Manitou there. Anywhere along 183 north out of Frederick or just south out of Frederick or up towards Manitou, you need to be in your safe spot. Oklahoma State Highway 5C there, east out of Manitou, that's going to be also included in the warning. Anywhere along Oklahoma State Highway 5 to the south, really, it doesn't quite extend all the way to the east, but if you live northwest of Hollister along Oklahoma State Highway 5 or just to the east of Frederick, you need to be in your safe spot. Tipton, you're also included, or is Tipton included in this warning? No, they are not included in this warning.
They are not,
Burt
no.
is included in this warning. Okay, so got to keep reviewing these things. Away from the exterior walls and windows. Small bathroom, small closet. That's where you want to be here if this storm approaches you. Now, if you have a basement, most of us do not have basements around here, but if you happen to, that's obviously a great spot to be in. Storm shelters, obviously, are going to be a great spot to be, too. And I'm going to repeat this again. If you live in a mobile home today, I want you to leave that mobile home and find sturdier structure. See how, you see how fast these are developing here. It could be right over you, and you would not have time to go find that sturdier structure. You would be stuck. So you need to go ahead and start thinking about that now. We do not want anyone to be in a mobile home today, because this is just a day where these tornadoes can develop fast, and mobile homes do not provide adequate protection from large tornadoes.
Yeah, Michael, I think we already got a debris signature. You see that?
Maybe. Yeah, I do see it, but it doesn't. It's possible. And we're talking about right in here, but show that with velocity again. I want to make sure. See. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah,
because the National Reserves did actually point that out. It said TDS now on the Frederick storm. That didn't take long.
Okay. Well, they think it's already. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best debris signature I've ever seen, but yeah, it certainly could be, because you got the air right there. It's going away from the radar site, air going towards it. This is going to be your rotational signature right in here. Let's go ahead and put it back on with the CC, and yeah, you could argue there's a little debris signature in there. I hate when we get this close to the radar. I talked about that last time we had the bad tornado in Tillman County. When you get too close to the radar, it makes it a little bit tougher, and it gets a little bit funky with how it looks, and we're just right on top of the radar site. So there's a likely tornado on the ground in Tillman County now.
Yeah, I don't want to say confirm, but if you have radar scope up, Michael, I think the debris signature looks a little bit better on radar scope than it does on this one.
Let me go ahead and scan back over to it. That's the one thing.
Yep, sirens are sounding in Frederick.
Yep, they need to be.
Spotters are watching it. Spotters are on it in Tillman.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I do see that little debris signature there. Yeah, it looks a little bit better on radar scope. That's for sure. So yeah, likely tornado on the ground right now. You also got the strong wind going right into the site, right into the radar site in Frederick. If you live near the radar site in Frederick, you're probably going to get some really powerful winds here coming in too.
So Burt and Manitou, you need to be in your safe spot now.
Yes, immediately. Do not waste any time here. Let's go ahead and review. For anyone that's just now joining us, let's go through the full what we can do today. So start thinking about your safe place now. Pick it out right now. It can be a small closet. It can be a pantry. It can be a small bathroom. You want to think about that right now. You want to pick that spot out and be prepared to go to it. So pick your safe place now. Pick a place to meet afterwards. If the worst happens, you get hit by a large tornado, it's going to be hard to recognize what's left over. Pick a landmark that you know is likely not going to get destroyed by a tornado, and pick that place to meet with your friends and family after the storm passes, if the worst does happen. Now, also you want to think about this. Gather up your medicines. Go to your medicine cabinet real quick. Gather all of those up, because you're going to lose them if you do get hit. It's going to get scattered all over the place, and that way you can bring that into your shelter with you. And then also charge your phone, get sturdy pairs of shoes on. If the worst happens once again, there's going to be debris all over the place. You don't know what you're going to be walking through. There's going to be woods, piece of wood sticking out, nails, whatever it could be. You want to have a good pair of shoes on. Obviously, a good pair of tennis shoes would be helpful if you're someone that has steel-toe boots. I have a pair of steel-toe boots. That's obviously going to be fantastic to have, or just regular old boots. Boots are going to be good there too. Now, also have a jacket, because like I said, we have multiple storms that keep forming all over the place. There could be another storm that comes through right after that one. So you definitely want to have a jacket on to try to help protect you at least a little bit from the elements. So, okay, so they're saying that the tornado debris signature is gone. So tornado warning obviously remains in effect. Another one, another rotating wall cloud due north of Spring Creek, coming in from the Wichita County storm spotters.
I'm trying to find where Spring Creek is.
Yeah. Some of these some of these towns will not pop up. Some of these little areas won't pop up there. That's just kind of how it is on these different ones. But I'm getting a little bit more concerned about this storm. Let's go ahead and show. Yeah, this one is moving to the right now. I don't see anything that's like organized rotation-wise, but this is the one that's moving into Wichita County. So we got to start watching this one too. I don't see anything on velocity that screams rotation, but show me the reflectivity again. Yeah, it's trying to organize itself. You got a new core that just went up on the southwest side of the storm. We'll watch to see how this one really operates here, because it was kind of more on a northeasterly track there for a second, but it might be splitting. And then, yeah, we're getting a little bit of inflow into this storm. It might be a storm split that's occurring right there. So one's going to move to the north, and this one's going to move to the east into Wichita County. So doesn't scream big terrible hook yet.
Break.
Oh, hey, what'd you say there? No, or Kyle?
Hey, tornado imminent.
Yeah.
McGargle, city limit, spinning right now on top of us.
Okay. Yep, that is a rotating funnel right there near Kyle. Kyle, what's your exact location?
I'm at 210 and FM 210 and Highway 114 in the city of McGargle.
Yep. Yeah, that is a large rotating funnel cloud that is above Kyle right now. In McGargle, you've got to get to that safe spot right now. Do not waste any time. Don't waste a second. You want to get there immediately, as this looks like it likely could produce a tornado pretty quickly here. And Kyle is right on top of it. That is a dangerous thunderstorm.
I can see it right now on velocity.
Yeah.
If we want to bring that back up.
We have rising motion.
Yep, we got some more rising motion there that Kyle's talking about. Let me look at it on my own here, because we want to keep that shot up for a second here. But yeah, in and around. Yeah, the velocity signature is looking a little bit better too in the last scan. Yeah, I would not be shocked to see us have a tornado here within a couple of minutes with this rotating wall cloud. That's very close to McGargle. This is extremely close to McGargle right now with this rotational. Let's go ahead and see. Keep an eye on all the storms. Tornado warning once again still continues for Tillman County. We do not have a chaser on that one because
I was gonna say the rotation, the velocity signature on that one is looking weaker than it was. Like I said, we storm spotters at Tillman are unable to see anything on that tornado warning storm at this time.
Okay, so hopefully it kind of lost some of its organization there, but it doesn't mean they can't reorganize. But a tornado warning does continue right now.
There's a very faint rotation signature in there, Michael, just to the northwest of Frederick, but nothing what we saw earlier.
Okay, well that's good. We hopefully we don't have a whole lot of strong rotational signatures today. We haven't seen any that have been overly strong, but we're going to keep an eye out on them. So let's go ahead and talk about the broad view again, and let's talk about the tornado warning that we do still have. Thank you very much, Dylan. We got tornado warning right now in southern Baylor County, another tornado warning in Tillman County right now, and then a line of severe thunderstorms. All these thunderstorms, we're going to have to watch all of them closely for anything that rotates here, because there is potential for rotational thunderstorms throughout this tornado watch. We do keep our tornado watch in effect here until 11 o'clock. I don't think we'll have storms last quite that long, but it is the potential for large, damaging tornadoes, and also the chance for large, very, very large hail. We're talking about the possibility, if one of these storms really gets mature, the chance for up to softball-sized hail or maybe even larger. We still keep our tornado warning there for southern Baylor County and our tornado warning up in Tillman County. Broadview tornado watch still in effect for all of Texoma outside of Hardeman County, Ford County, and Knox County. You are not included in the tornado watch. Originally, you were going to be included, but they decided to leave y'all out because the storms had already pushed off to the east. But the rest of Texoma is included in this tornado watch. So
this one's split. The left mover does appear to be, I will say, the left one seems to be more dominant. The right one is I'm not sure, Michael.
Yeah, the right one's not really holding together much.
Yeah.
But the left one, this could be a big hail producer that's about to move into Baylor County. So there's a good chance for another big hail producer moving into Baylor County, especially the southern portions of Baylor County. This one could be on a track towards Seymour, so there's a good chance we'll have to watch that closely for any hail getting in and around Seymour. Throckmorton, this is going to stay away from you. We're talking about Throckmorton proper.
But I will say, with that right mover seeing less organization, that is some good news right now.
Yeah, that is a bit of good news for sure. All right, let's go ahead and look at the velocity signature on this one again.
It's faint.
Yeah,
but it's still there.
Yeah, you got that area of rotation. It's still pretty close to McGargle and around McGargle. I want you to stay in your safe spot, but this is about to pass you completely, and then we'll hopefully be able to sound the all clear for McGargle. But if you live in southern Archer County, we're talking about along Texas State Highway 79 here, south out of Archer City. If you live in and around that area or just to the west or just to the east, you're included in this warning. Windthorst, I still want you to take special note of this storm. Right now, it's not on a clear path towards you, but you're on the edge of this warning. So we want to make sure that you take this seriously and be prepared to go to your safe place in Windthorst. Now, Scotland, you're not included in this warning. Archer City, you're not included in the warning. And then also any portion of Clay County also not included in this warning. So there's our rotational area. It's still trying to get a little bit more organized. Kyle's on it, so Kyle's going to scream at us if he starts seeing a tornado on the ground. But right now he still had at least a large rotating funnel on that storm. So very powerful winds right now moving towards Manitou. So in and around Manitou and Tipton, you're going to get a strong gust of wind. I want you to stay away from the exterior walls and windows. We're talking about the type of straight line winds that can knock down trees or carry some debris even into those windows. And we saw, like I said, straight line winds can be damaging. We saw it in Houston this last week. 200-mile-per-hour winds, or I think it was about a week and a half ago actually at this point. But we saw those strong straight line winds, and 4 people lost their lives due to those straight line winds. This is a deadly situation still with these strong straight line winds. Take that seriously as well. Do not go out and look at these storms. I know everyone likes to do that around here. I did it too when I was younger, but we don't want to be doing that today. We want to make sure we're taking every single step we can to protect ourselves. This is a dangerous day for thunderstorms.
They are going to continue the tornado warning, but they have said that the tornado threat is coming down. But like you said, Michael, still these straight line winds are really getting powerful right now.
And yeah, you're talking about the one that's in Tillman County, correct?
Tillman County, yes.
Yeah. I just want to make sure we're clear with everyone. We got to be as clear as possible with those different warnings. We have multiple of them going on at the same time. So yeah, they're noting that the velocity signature as far as rotation is weakening a little bit, and I tend to agree, but the strong straight line winds are still coming in towards Manitou. You trying to sample that? You can pause it at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and sample some of those strong winds. And one thing to note when we're sampling these strong winds, 72 miles per hour. It really samples it a little bit higher above the surface, but this is so close to the surface actually because the radar in Tillman County and southeast of Frederick is just right by this. So we're actually getting a pretty good low-level scan. A good chance for 70 plus up to 80 mile per hour winds, and maybe even a little stronger than that with this storm as it approaches Manitou.
56 mile per hour just recorded in Hollister.
Okay, when that's further to this, that's not even near really the patch of the strongest winds. So if we're getting 56 down here in Hollister, and we're away from the strongest of the winds, that tells you all you need to know right now about how strong these winds can be. And really the strongest of them looking like they are moving through Manitou. If you know people in Snyder, technically Snyder is in Kiowa County, and we don't cover Kiowa County. But if you know people up in Snyder, give them a call. Let them know, hey, there's some strong winds coming up into Snyder right now. They're going to be there in about 5 to 10 minutes. So in and around Snyder, you also want to be away from those exterior walls and windows here with straight line winds up to 80 miles per hour coming in towards you. Okay, so
do we want Kyle to stay in Archer County or head towards Wichita?
Let's have him. Let me evaluate. You take over for a second.
Okay, so yeah, so again, we're still watching this tornado warning in southern Archer County. Again, the velocity signature is a bit fainter now, but this thing could be cycling. You see it, I'll pause it right here at the end. You see it, it's right in there. So obviously you got winds Let me get this here. You got winds going towards the radar there. You got winds going away from the radar there. So that can create your rotation signature in there. So, again, it's looking fainter than it was. We got tree limbs down in Frederick, according to a sheriff there from the Tillman County spotter. So some very powerful winds moving through Tillman County right now. So that was still a big concern up there. Also farther to the south and towards Throckmorton County, we still have this severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for the ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Good news is, like we said, the right mover does seem to be still very disorganized, so that is some good news on that guy. Still watching this tornado warning here in Tillman. They said they're just going to keep it going. No news on reissuing at this point, but let's go ahead and pause and again to see how powerful these winds are getting there by Manitou. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So very, very powerful winds heading there towards Manitou. I mean, we had 56-mile-per-hour wind gusts there in Hollister, and like Michael said, that's not even the most powerful winds that we're seeing. Of course, those are the ones up by Manitou. Okay, they're issuing a new one for Comanche, Cotton, and Tillman. Okay, so Comanche, Cotton, and Tillman. Okay, so that's going to be this guy right here. So let me circle this. There's our new severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Comanche, Cotton, and Tillman. That is for baseline. So they're going baseline on that one for all this stuff moving in. That is for 60 and quarter-size hail. So that's the newest one. No reissuing yet on the tornado warnings or on any of these storms moving into the north. Still watching this again. Again, Michael, when you get back.
Yeah, I'm back.
I don't. The rotation signature is definitely much weaker than it was a few scans ago.
Yeah, it is. It is quite a bit weaker as well. It's just northwest of Albany right now. We're still going to stay on it, though, because this is the one that has the unimpeded inflow with the southerly winds going right into it. So that's going to be the one that's still the most concerning at this point. So we're going to keep watching that one as closely as we can.
All those winds going right into it. So, yeah, like you said, it's got unimpeded, as you can see. There's nothing down in the south to stop it.
Yeah, it is definitely concerning. So let's go to this. Let's talk about the Wichita County one again. So we kind of talked about a lot of the other ones.
A couple new ones.
So new warning does include Lakeside City now, includes Iowa Park, still includes Holiday, Cadane Corner, and Electra. In west side of Wichita Falls, you're also included in this warning. So generally speaking, Wichita Falls should also be prepared for the storm.
That's for $50 and 60.
Yeah. This is the weakest of our storms right now. It doesn't mean it can't strengthen, but this is the weakest of our thunderstorms at this point. With all of our storms being severe very quickly, which is what we expected for today.
Looks like this northern one's about to moving out into Kiowa.
Now, the good news that we've seen so far is, and we were kind of anticipating this as we got into the afternoon hours, is so far tornadoes have struggled to develop. That is good news. There was possibly one that did drop in Tillman County, but so far the tornadoes have had a hard time developing. That will change as we get into the evening. They will not have an issue like they are late this afternoon. As we get closer to about 6 o'clock especially, these are going to become bigger issues. Any of these mature storms that really strengthen, that's going to be a big concern as we get into the evening, especially after 6 o'clock. But as we get closer to 5, it becomes an issue. Let's see here.
Warning there looks like it just popped up.
Yeah, new warning does include now generally far southwestern portions of Clay County. It's going to be west of Buffalo Springs and Vashti, going to be a little bit southwest of Blue Grove.
That's going to be for ping pong and 60.
Yeah, ping pong, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Okay.
Looks like they're going to let, again, what we saw earlier, looks like they might let the tornado warning expire because they're going tornado possible on that guy.
Yeah, because this just hasn't been overly organized just yet.
Yeah, nothing on reflectivity or even velocity really kind of screams rotation signature. That one's just super faint.
Yeah, that is a powerful supercell, but it's having a hard time. It's a little early in the day for these. Like I said, as we get into the evening, they won't have an issue. Right now, I'm hoping, at least for us in Texoma, that if these are our only storms and we don't see any redevelopment, they might be out of here before the low-level jet really kicks up. So that's going to be the hope right now. I'm actually checking a forecast model right now to kind of see how they're developing. And, yeah, it kind of keeps this cluster of storms here. It does show a little bit of redevelopment, so we'll have to watch that. But they will likely be out of our hair by about 9:30 or so, any of that development. But we'll have to watch those storms very closely if they do tend to redevelop. And of course, there's still a concern right now. Obviously, we have 2 tornado warnings still in effect and the potential of 80-mile-per-hour straight-line winds. This just isn't the peak time for tornadic activity. It doesn't mean it can't happen, especially on a day today, like today, where we have extreme instability and pretty decent vertical wind shear. But it's really the evening hours where this goes up quite a bit, as we've seen all too often. So we continue to watch, and also we got a new one that's for southwestern Comanche County. So that's also a new severe thunderstorm warning that I hadn't seen yet. Really,
they're going. Yeah, it's a very big one there, Michael. You see it.
Yeah.
It's like it's all the way from here all the way to up here.
Yeah, and it just came through in the chat. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts going to be the main concern, along with potential for quarter-sized hail. That's that strong area of wind. They didn't want to issue another 80-mile-per-hour one because it looks like we haven't been able to verify the 80-mile-per-hour winds yet, but they did issue it for 70.
Yeah, the only one we've seen close was that 56 in Hollister.
Yeah, and that was away from the strongest of the winds, too. So I anticipate that we're at least seeing 70 in that swath of the storm. So main concerns with that one continue to be the strong straight-line winds. And then there's still a tornado warning.
You can see the storm itself, Michael, is taking more of a linear structure, all those storms together. You can...
Yeah, it is. It really is, which is good news. So that's still pushing up to the north there. And then we continue to watch this area of storms that's moving into more of Wichita County. You got some more shearing in there. Let's go ahead and put that back on reflectivity. And that's coming up fast, too.
But that is a left mover, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a left mover. So I think it is. Yeah, it looks like that's the split. But yeah, it looks like left mover structure. You get the main core of the storm on the northern end of it. So this is probably going to be a big hail threat, though, moving into northern Wichita County if that continues to strengthen. This one is the right mover. It's further to the southwest of it, and that's going to be on a path for
maybe right there by Dane Corner, a little bit of.
Yeah, and folks, most of our viewership is in Wichita Falls. Folks in Wichita Falls, I want you to take special note of this storm already. You are starting to see some converging air. And in fact, I might send Kyle back to the north on this one after all, because I decided to keep him on the southern Archer County one, but this one is not organizing. So overall, I'll just tell you just another update from the Weather Service. What we're kind of talking about earlier on, what I was just talking about as far as the wind shear, is that the wind shear has increased a little bit here in the lowest levels, and also generally seeing it's definitely going to become a little bit stronger for the good chance for supercells and continued rotation. And it's probably going to start seeing some rotation strengthen.
You want me to text Kyle, send him up to Wichita County?
Yeah, let me see this on reflectivity again. Because... yeah, this would be the area that would try to develop rotation. I want to...
Tennis ball size hail in Roosevelt.
Okay, so tennis ball size hail in Roosevelt now. That's going to be a concern. Yeah, I can't decide. Because none of these have really proven to be dominant. Yeah, I mean, he is in Archer County, so it's not like he's particularly far away from that storm. He could get to it in 30 minutes, but... still want to keep an eye on it. Hey, Dan, while you're over there, why don't you go ahead and get the cameras opened on that thing. Yeah, so that way, because right now our tower cam, and I would have been using our tower cam in Albany on this one, but it's a little dirty right now. I'm hoping we got some rain over it that maybe cleaned it off. And then our one in Seymour needs to be fixed. So we haven't been using those yet. But as this approaches Wichita Falls, we have our Wichita Falls cam, which is up and operating, and also our one in Clay County is not operating, but we still have our one in Bowie at the moment. We got some camera issues that we're trying to figure out.
I think it's a clear split right there by Iowa Park.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. So that's our northern moving storm. This one's moving to the south, is really moving to the east-southeast, or east-northeast. With the southern portion of it, but it hasn't really organized yet, but we got to keep a close eye on it and make sure it doesn't. So Iowa Park, I still want you to take special note of that. Wichita Falls, you need to take special note of that. Holiday, take special note of this storm. And no tornado warning, nothing imminent, but this is the supercell that is trying to recycle and strengthen here. So we're going to keep a close eye on that cell. Obviously,
58
we're
miles
keeping a
per
close eye
hour
on all
in
of them.
Tipton.
Okay, 58, you said?
58, yeah.
Yeah, 58 mile per hour wind gusts in Tipton. So we're getting some confirmed strong winds. That area of tennis ball size hail is moving more north into Kiowa County now. So folks in Kiowa County, that's where you're going to see the better chance for that very large hail threat, because there's Roosevelt, that's further off to the northeast of Altus, and that's where they had the the tennis ball size hail confirmed. And so
New warning there.
Okay, so new warning has been issued. This is going to be for Burke Burnett is included in this warning. We also pretty much got most of Cotton County included in this. Also, southeastern portions of Tillman County. Ranlet, Cooktown, you're included in this. Temple, you're included in this. Walters is just on the edge of you, but it's going to approach eventually here. And Walters as well. And Burke, once again, is included in this warning. And that's going to be for the potential of golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that storm. And so, okay, so we continue to watch all of these storms. Yeah, that's going to be much more of a left mover, and we got to watch this right mover. It's starting to lose some of its core. Hopefully it dies. I don't anticipate storms to die today.
I'm not seeing anything super impressive on the tower cam, Michael.
Okay. Well, that's I'm glad you went ahead and looked at it. Let's go ahead and talk about our tornado warning storm still. We haven't gone back to it in a minute because we've been kind of waiting to see if it wants to organize. But you still got, and there's no new core going up behind it. That's going to be, new core that's going up to the west of it. So that's going to be a new portion of the thunderstorm that's starting to develop. But this one that had the rotation, let's go ahead and look at the velocity signature on this one in Southern Archer.
Still not super impressive.
Yeah, not overly impressive by any means at the moment.
But I do wonder, you see, Michael, right in here, is that like the cycling right here, that little rotation signature?
It could be. I mean, we got to watch any little area of rotation on a day like this, so... it certainly could be cycling. Let's go ahead and let's do the broad view again. Let's just talk about everything. So we're still watching that storm in Southern Archer County. Just nothing looks imminent right now as far as a tornado, but I still want you to be in your safe place in Southern Archer County until this storm passes, as it does have a history of producing some large wall clouds and large rotating funnels that thankfully didn't make it down to the ground.
And again, thankfully, we said this earlier, that right mover in Throckmorton County has pretty much died off.
Yeah, it did die. But look how quickly this one went up south of Seymour.
South.
I mean, the instability is off the charts today. So these storms are going to go up quickly. The question mark continues to be how many of these storms can rotate in the low levels. That's our biggest concern today. If they do start to be able to rotate better in the low levels, we could have a ton of tornadoes. But right now they're struggling a little bit to develop in the low levels, so that's some good news there. And also, I think one of the reasons for that, too, is, the wind shear isn't quite strong enough yet, but it is strengthening here and will continue to strengthen until about 7, 8 o'clock. But one of the other things that we're seeing here is all these storms are kind of clustered together. There's too many. It's hard for it to get unimpeded inflow. The only one that's getting unimpeded inflow is this one in Archer County, and that's why that's really still the main focus of the forecast. But that's going to be pushing into southern Clay County and eventually going to be approaching Monte County. Now, this activity further off to the north, going through Comanche County. Some strong winds possible in the far western portions of Comanche County. So we're talking about areas pretty far to the west of Lawton, but Lawton's not included in any severe thunderstorm warning just yet. But there are some strong winds moving through the western portions of the county. Now, down to the south from there, we still have this warning that's including pretty much a good portion of Tillman County still, eastern portion of Tillman County. That is activity that's going to move into Lawton, but right now, no severe thunderstorm warning for Lawton. Now, further to the south there, let's go a little further south there, Noah, and talk about Cotton County. Now, as this storm gets into Cotton County, still the potential of golf ball-sized hail, some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and really this activity that's moving through right now isn't as much the focus as it is the area that's a little further south even from there. Let's go down towards Burke. We just talked about how Burke was about to get some hail, and likely some hail in and around Burke, or at least about to happen, or just in the northwest of Burke. That's going to be the activity where it's probably most likely to see some of that large hail, but hey, in Burke, you got to be prepared for a little bit of hail coming in. And then also that's going to be Ranlet, Cookietown, and as you'll go further off to the east from there. Taylor included in this, Temple, Hooper, Walters, y'all are all on the edge of this one. Charlie in northern Clay County, you are just on the edge of this warning too. So 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and golf ball-sized hail is going to be possible here. Golf ball-sized hail confirmed in Hobart. So we continue to see pretty large hail reports coming in.
Okay, they canceled the...
Yeah, they're canceling the Tillman tornado warning. They canceled that one.
Yeah, they canceled that a little bit ago. I'm wondering what the update's going to be on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, it still has clear supercell structure. You got a hook that's trying to develop. Let's zoom back into it. Yeah, you got a little bit of a hook that's still trying to hold on. Velocity-wise, not seeing a whole lot with how it was cycling earlier. So you're still not seeing a ton of just absolute, yeah, for sure, this is going to continue to rotate and produce a tornado. And that's the good thing, like I said, that we've seen so far today, is that a lot of these rotational signatures are not holding together. The wind shear is not quite strong enough just yet, but it is strengthening here. So the tornado potential also is increasing with that strengthening of velocity.
It said new development near Childress. Oh, yep, there it is.
Oh, yeah, a little cell going up there near Childress.
Okay, so on the back one, Michael, we got severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, I knew severe thunderstorm warning already came in here for Baylor County.
For Archer and Baylor, it's for ping pong and 60.
Okay, ping pong and 60. Okay, so that, well, if you live in Seymour, just expect the chance to get some hail here because there's another little core that's going up. That's going to move through Seymour. Expect a chance for some hail, also some strong gusty winds. If you live east of Seymour in Baylor County, expect that chance for some hail and some strong gusty winds, and also as you get into the western portions of Archer County. So if you get in and around Dundee, that's going to be a good chance for you to see some of that. Yeah, that's trying to develop a little bit more of a hook there, Noah.
It definitely is. You can see it right in here.
Yeah, so right in there, that's going to be an area that's trying to rotate. It's trying to cycle. It's put up the velocity still.
Yeah, it's still not looking overly impressive on velocity.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's mostly the reflectivity that we're seeing this hook and not on velocity.
Yeah, so we're going to keep a close eye on that one. It looks like we just got a new warning that got issued for Wichita Falls. Let's look further north on that one. Let's see.
I think they're talking about this one.
Oh,
I think we talked about that one, right? Yeah.
Okay.
This one was
I thought there was a new warning got issued because I just had a notification to my phone.
I did as well. I'm wondering why that went off.
Well, it's because Western Wichita Falls is included.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it included more Wichita Falls now.
It looks like it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, Western Wichita Falls is included in this warning, and that's where the TV station is located, is the west side of Wichita Falls. So areas around the stadium, obviously. Anywhere along, Seymour Highway. If you know where the television station is, at 4500 Seymour Highway, there's Seymour and McNeil. That's where we're located. If you live south out of there or west out of there, that's generally you're going to be included in this warning. But really, more Wichita Falls should expect some more storms. Thankfully, I think this cell is weakening quite a bit. It actually might even stay away from us.
I didn't want to go there, Michael, until you confirmed it. But yeah, that cell is weakening a bunch.
Yeah. A lot of the core is really starting to weaken
disorganizing. Some. You see a lot of breakups here, in all the storms.
Well, maybe there's potential that all the people that tell me there's a dome, it might actually hold today. It doesn't hold every time, but it could hold this time.
Still seeing a tiny hook there, but nowhere near as organized as it was.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the velocity again. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot there. It's trying to rotate, of course, but we're not seeing anything that screams tornado right now. Let's see. We have Kyle on the line. We haven't checked in with Kyle for a little while. Kyle, you there?
You're going to continue the tornado warning.
Okay. Okay, I guess we don't have Kyle on the line, so maybe we can get in touch with him at some point.
Mike, remind me, what's a WOF?
Warning on forecast.
Okay.
Yep.
Some of the lingo they'll throw around randomly. It's like, okay, what's that?
Yeah, warning on forecast. So generally warning on forecast is because some of our forecast modeling has gone so good that they keep warnings going sometimes just because of how good the forecast looks for it as it goes off to the east. And so they're keeping this tornado warning going because warning on forecast still shows it getting pretty strong helicity signatures as it moves further off to the east here into Clay County. So that's going to be a concern that we continue to watch, and probably will include eventually far northern portions of Jack County too with that warning. Now, Jack County would have to be issued by the Fort Worth National Weather Service, but we'll wait for that until it comes.
I'm going to see what the Fort Worth office is saying.
Okay, so new tornado warning. Let's go ahead and talk about that first. We zoom out here a little bit there. No, new tornado warning does include Archer City. It includes Scotland now. Windthorst, you're included in this warning. Areas near Blue Grove, so if you live south of Henrietta, that you're going to be included in this warning too. West of Buffalo Springs and Vashti, you're included in this warning. Windthorst, once again, Scotland, Archer City, especially Windthorst, is going to be pretty close to where this rotational signature is going to be. You are all included in this warning. So let's review our safety measures again. Pick a small bathroom, small closet. Stay away from exterior walls and windows with this storm. You want to be generally in a storm shelter if you have it, but if you don't, small bathroom, small closet, generally away from the exterior walls and windows. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside of your home, so an interior small room. And so remember, you want to cover your head, helmet if you got it, or if you don't have a helmet, a little bicycle helmet, grab a cushion off the couch or grab a pillow off the bed, put that over your head. Most people that die in tornadoes die from blunt force trauma to the head. For everyone else, let's review all of our safety measures. Once again, if you live in a mobile home today, I want you to leave that mobile home and get to a sturdier structure. This is not a day where you want to be in a mobile home. So pick your safe place now. Everyone should be thinking about that. Not even if you're not included in the tornado warning, I still want you to be picking a safe place. Start thinking about it. Pick a place to me if the worst happens and a large tornado does hit you. Pick a landmark that's not going to get destroyed by a tornado, and that way you can pick a place to meet with your friends and families after it passes. And speaking of what happens after it passes, you want to have a sturdy pair of shoes on. You don't know what the damage is going to be and what kind of wood and nails and everything else that's going to be on the ground after it passes. You want to have a good pair of shoes. Tennis shoes are great. Boots are better, especially if you got like some steel toe boots. Those are going to be perfect. And then a jacket obviously is going to be important too, with more storms likely redeveloping, and so that way you have at least some protection from the elements. All right, let's go ahead and check in with Kyle, who's on this tornado warning storm that we've been talking about. Hey, Kyle, what are you seeing?
Hey, we are on 79 south of Archer City. This is a massive storm right here. It is rotating, and it's starting to ramp up just a little bit just south of Archer City here.
Okay, thank you very much, Kyle. Kyle is on it. He will interrupt me and tell me what he's seeing if he sees something really bad. So we got Kyle on the line. Glad we got back to him. And yeah, he's going to continue to watch this. And he said he's a little bit south of Archer City, and that is where part of this warning is included. Is included just generally in Archer City too. You are still included in this warning. And then, like I said, Windthorst, Scotland included in this warning. Blue Grove included in this warning. So south of Henrietta in Clay County, but west of the highway, that's going to be all the areas that are included.
Yeah, trying to hook there, but then it like receded back in.
Yeah, it's still trying to. You got a little inflow notch there, right there in the middle. There's a little bit more shearing that's further back in the storm, so that's going to be a concern. Archer City, you need to be in your safe place. If this continues to on this upward trend that we're starting to see, and what we're anticipating here as we get closer and closer to the evening hours, this could go right over you in Archer City. And if it continues to strengthen, could produce a tornado. So in Archer City, you need to be in your safe place now. Do not waste any time with this storm because it is developing fast and it has been holding together. Some of the activity in Wichita County, still very disorganized. Looks like Iowa Park still getting plenty of rain right now, maybe a little bit of hail. Burnett maybe getting some rain. West side of Wichita Falls maybe just getting a little bit. I know I heard some thunder here, and definitely the center of town, it's definitely going to get some rain. So generally speaking, we'll probably get a little bit of rain in Wichita Falls, but right now we're not seeing anything as far as a strong tornado threat. Although I will say there's a new little core that's going up on the west side of it. We'll have to watch that southeast there of Electra. Yep. That's going to be going towards Iowa Park.
Little bit of converging air maybe in there.
Yeah, a couple of areas of converging air. So yeah, we'll have to continue to watch this one as it makes its way closer to Iowa Park, and then also closer to areas northwest of Wichita Falls. Wichita Falls, still be prepared to go to your safe place. We're not out of the woods here. You need to be thinking about where you need to be too. Okay. So which one are you? Okay. And also going to be a hail threat on this storm too. I still think there's certainly possibility some golf ball sized hail or larger on this storm. So Hobart also reported 66-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We're starting to hear more and more strong wind gust reports. And we continue to have all these going. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go back to Kyle. And, hey, Kyle, what are you seeing now?
Hey, still rotating right here on 79 south of Archer City. Nothing that screams tornado yet, but something definitely need to watch here. It would be right here on the right-hand side of the screen if it does put down.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. Kyle's going to keep a close eye on that. It looks pretty similar to how it looked earlier, Kyle. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's trying to reach down right here. We're going to move up closer to it, see if anything's on the ground.
Okay, thank you very much, Kyle. Kyle's going to stay on that. So once again, this is just south of Archer City along Highway 79. So anyone in Archer City, I want you to be in your safe spot, especially if you live on the south side of town along the highway or near the highway or to the east of the highway. You need to be in your safe place right now. Do not waste any time. Don't go outside and look for this. Don't waste that time because these tornadoes could develop quickly and strengthen quickly on a day like today when we have strong vertical wind shear and also really high instability in the atmosphere. Kyle's just going to keep on creeping closer to it to see if he can see anything on the ground. He's going to stay in a safe place, safe distance anyway.
Looks like a good amount of scud there on the sort of right side there, Michael.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but there's definitely a funnel in there too.
It's kind of like a mix of the both.
Yeah, well, you'll see that a lot of times with these types of storms. You'll get rising scud into the wall cloud, and then you'll see little funnels develop. It looks like that funnel maybe dissipated just a little bit.
Yeah, very faintly there, right by the power pole right now.
Yeah, maybe it dissipated a little bit. I mean, we don't see anything that's extremely strong velocity yet, but we are keeping an eye on this one in Wichita County too. Folks in Iowa Park and Burke Burnett, I want you to take special note. No tornado warning and nothing that looks imminent for you. But I do want to note that there is a storm that's trying to get organized in the western portions of Wichita County too.
Yeah, see a bit more of an inflow notch there on a couple of those areas.
Yeah.
Especially the one down by, is that Folks?
Yep. And so...
Yeah, they're watching the area between Iowa Park and Burke.
Yep. So there's going to be another little area that we're going to have to keep a close eye on in Wichita County. Now, Kyle's still on this one that's in Archer County because this is still the one that we think has the best chance to produce a large tornado at this time. But hey, Kyle, what are you seeing right now with that little funnel coming down? Oh, okay. We lost Kyle there for a second. Okay. We're about to get Kyle back on the line. Kyle sometimes has to take his phone off so he can get a little video action to send to the Weather Service. Now, that is a rotating lowering, and it's trying to get down to the ground. Do we have Kyle back on the line now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Hey, Kyle, what are you seeing right now with your eyes?
Hey, right now, I'm going to switch across the street here as soon as this car goes by. Looks like a new wall cloud forming. This is going to be southeast of 79. You can probably see it on the shot here.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there's another little lowering on it now. Okay, yep, we got more wall clouds developing.
We're going to have to get repositioned, and then we'll get y'all a shot shortly.
Okay, thank you very much, Kyle. So Kyle's watching two areas there now that do have some rotation. Okay, so we do still have that concern. So we're going to keep a close eye on this storm. It does have just some weak rotational signatures, but those weak rotational signatures can strengthen quickly, especially as we start getting closer to the 5 o'clock window and after 5 o'clock, especially by 6 o'clock, if any storms remain in Texoma, which I anticipate them to stay in Texoma, you really start to see the low-level jet kick up, and especially so as we get to the hours around 7 and 8 o'clock. That's really when it's at its peak for that tornadic development. But we'll continue to be strong as we go into the overnight hours. So any storms that do exist into the overnight hours would still be a concern, but I don't anticipate storms in Texoma in the overnight hours. That's going to be farther to the east, into southeastern and central Oklahoma. Okay, so we still have this line of severe thunderstorms. Let's talk about this Wichita County one again. I know Lawton, you don't have a severe thunderstorm warning, but I'm sure you're feeling some strong gusty winds. Further to the south, though, let's go ahead and put up velocity with this one, though. That's a little bit south there by Iowa Park. They were watching these areas, yeah. And now there's a little area that's kind of getting more organized north of Iowa Park. Burke, Burnett, you need to take special note of this. If you live south of Burke along Highway 44, north of the base, that's going to be going pretty close to you. Right there where it says the caching community. You want to be in a safe place. Well, no tornado warning just yet, but there is at least some organization on that area of the storm. So you want to take special note of that, even though there's no tornado warning or anything like that at this time. Just start thinking about your safe place in case that warning does come in. Let's go ahead and look further. Let's do, further north. Yeah, some of the strong gusty winds are still going through western Comanche County. Generally staying away from Lawton, even though I'm sure Lawton's getting some gusty winds, but probably not as strong as the ones that are further off to the west. And those strong winds are going to keep on going north. We keep talking about, Hobart's reported some really strong wind gusts with that in Kiowa, but that's going to stay away from us here in Texoma. Now, further west of Comanche County, further west of Lawton, that's where most of the strong wind gusts are. Really right over the Wichita Mountains right now, but overall, the strongest of the winds are going to stay away from Lawton. Let's go ahead and look further down to the south now. There's some more redevelopment still on the storm. That's a little bit east of Baylor, east of Seymour in Baylor County, and you got two little cores here. We might see another little cell split, or it might be actually become more of a right mover as this left. Yeah, I think there's going to be a left mover to the north, a right mover to the south, and we'll have to watch that little area of inflow. It's pretty much going on the same path as the last one, so it's going to be maybe a little bit further north than the last one to move through. And yeah, got a little bit of rotation on that storm now. It's going to be another area that we have to watch. It's weaker rotation right now, but just another storm that could produce something. So we're going to keep a close eye on that one as it makes its way through the eastern portions of Baylor County into western portions of Archer County. We still have a tornado warning on this storm, still have some rotation on it.
It's interesting now, Michael, the velocity signature looks better than the reflectivity signature.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably cycling again, just getting a little bit reorganized. But this is going to be right by Archer City, so if something were to develop, it'd be right by Archer City. So you need to be in your safe place in Archer City. Do not waste any time. Do not wait for me to say, hey, there's a tornado on the ground. You want to be there before we say that. And then Windthorst in Scotland, you got to take special note of this too. And you should also be in your safe place until this storm passes. Okay. Let's, as we keep walking around here, overall, I'm kind of keeping an eye on my laptop too, kind of keeping an eye on some of the other data. I don't see anything else that screams tornado.
Those storms to the north are really becoming linear based. The one in Iowa Park is sort of organized, but not getting to any concerning level, I think. Well, it's concerning, but not very concerning as of yet.
And then overall, I think those southern ones are still the ones I'm most concerned about, but this one, and really just northeast of Iowa Park, in and around Iowa Park too, there's another little area that's trying to rotate just near Iowa Park here. Nothing organized just yet. What's the reflectivity look like on this one?
Maybe a little hook right there by Bacon.
Yeah, this is a weird storm. It's just strange looking. Zoom it out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's just a strange looking little storm. I don't see anything that screams strong supercell.
Well, because Michael, this one was the one that I think tried to split. Now all of a sudden it's like trying to catch back up to the left mover.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but there are still some areas of converging air on this one, so we'll watch it. But it's a strange storm. It doesn't look like your classic supercell.
Stevens, you're about to get Stevens, our northwestern portion of the Stevens. You just got your first severe thunderstorm warning.
And it also includes Lawton. Lawton's included in that one too. So northeastern Comanche County, northwestern Stevens, far northwestern Stevens. Elgin included in that warning, of course, too. And then anywhere in the northeastern portions of Comanche County, you're going to be included in this warning. That's going to be for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail on that storm. Okay, so it's trying to converge right there near Archer City.
But it's just every time it tries to converge, it gets weaker.
Yeah, it's struggling. Hopefully, it continues to struggle. That's what we're hoping for. But as we get to these next couple of hours, that's what we saw happen on Thursday. Once we got to about 6:45, 6:50, all of a sudden it started looking like it was a lot stronger. And then it, of course, produced that large tornado between the time frame of 7:04 and 7:57 p.m. In Jackson County on Thursday.
Tor coming for Baylor will include portions of Archer.
Okay, so that's going to be the other area of rotation that we're seeing.
Oh,
and that area of rotation is actually a lot stronger.
Yep.
And then that's the strongest area of rotation that we've seen so far today. And that's what we're talking about. As we get closer to 5 o'clock, we're going to start seeing some of these areas rotate a little bit better. So that's going to be east of Seymour and Baylor County. New tornado warning coming. It's going to include portions of Archer County too. And it's going to be generally in the eastern portions of Baylor County. Seymour, you might be included just barely in this one. Yes, there's a new warning. And so Maybell, you're included in the warning. Dundee, you're also included in this warning.
It goes into Wichita County too.
Yep. We do include Holiday in this warning. It would be on this one's most of these have been moving east. This is moving a little bit more northeast. Zoom into the highway there, will you? Noah. Yeah, zoom in.
I'll zoom in the highway.
Yeah. I want to make sure we don't miss any calling out in community. So anywhere along 277, there's Mankins. We hadn't said Mankins yet, where it says Canadian Corner there in southwestern Wichita County. We have a new tornado warning that has been issued. If you live in a rural home in the eastern portions of Baylor County, south of 277, I want you to be in your safe place too. This is a nasty signature that's already starting to develop very quickly here, east out of Seymour. I really wish the Seymour Tower cam was working, because we would be able to look right to the east of that.
That's mostly hail, I think. Right there, Michael?
Yeah.
Although it could be a little bit.
Yeah, it could be. Put back on velocity. Yeah, there could be a little debris signature right in there. Right in here, maybe a weak one. Not very strong yet, though. I wouldn't call it a TDS unless the Weather Service. The Weather Service has obviously the best tools with the storm.
Kyle's going west.
Yeah, I think he needs to be on this one. This one looks stronger.
That Archer County one is still really struggling.
Okay. So this is not in our market. I think this was up towards Kiowa County, but baseball size hail. We're starting to see the hail sizes get bigger too.
There's the info notch. Yep.
So large hail, and also likely the tornado threat's increasing quite a bit here. This could be a large tornado that could get produced. Right now, it's not organized enough to say it's a large one, and right now can't even say that it's on the ground. But if it continues this upward trend, which the other one has struggled, I do want to note that the other one has struggled, but we're getting to the time frame where we're expecting these things to not struggle as often and really start to ramp up, actually more likely. So let's go ahead and do our cone on it. What's the direction and movement of this one?
This one is, come on, load up. Let's see. Moving northeast. This one's moving fast. Northeast at 50.
Yeah, this is a faster mover. Okay, thank you very much. They're just letting me know that Kyle is heading to the other tornado warning. And so let's look at the time frame. These might be a little bit fast in the time frame, but hey, Dundee closer to about 5:12, Holiday 5:28, Wichita Falls 5:45. This is heading towards Wichita Falls. That's going to be its current trajectory, and if it strengthens, coming up from the southwest, which we all know what that means. I mean, or what's happened before with that. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but this is coming up from the southwest, going towards portions of Dundee. Going to be getting pretty close to Maybell still. Maybell, you're still included in this warning. It's just to the southeast, really just to the south of Maybell, and then getting up towards Holiday. And so it's making a more northeasterly path here with this area of rotation. So let's go ahead and take, I'm going to look at a little bit of data here. I'm going to see temperature in Wichita Falls is 83. Dew point is 77. I'm using Wichita Falls because it's the closest point to these storms. Now, actually, I can also look at Seymour's. And I want to see Seymour 86 and 76. So I mentioned that to say it's extremely humid out there. It doesn't take much more than walking outside for a second to think, oh man, it's a little eerie out here. It's a little thick, and these clouds are looking pretty crazy. I mean, it is a storm day.
Yeah, new severe thunderstorm warning for this guy, for Clay, Wichita, and Archer. That is for 60 and going to be golf ball.
So this includes Bellevue. It's going to include Buffalo Springs and Vashti. It's going to include Blue Grove, Henrietta. You're included in this warning. I think, does it zoom into the highway there, 287? I want to see, make sure we don't miss any of the communities that are, Jolly, you are included. I was wondering if Jolly was included in it, but Jolly is. Dick Worsham, you're also included in this warning. I mentioned Bellevue. And we have Vashti and Buffalo Springs. So Deer Creek, also included. So this is going to be our rotational area, though. It's getting a little bit more organized.
Yep.
But right now the velocity signature isn't super high on it. But that's still more organized than we've seen the other one.
For sure.
So we also have the potential for, of course, some large hail with this storm, golf ball size hail possible.
Michael, I think that one's increasing. You see there on the latest scan?
Yeah, I think so too. Unfortunately, that's going to be our area of rotation. Yep. Let's see. I don't see anything debris-wise.
No.
Let's go ahead and put it back on with velocity or reflectivity. Yeah. Yeah, it's a different looking storm. Most of these do not move this quickly to the northeast like this. So also what can happen with these storms is they can become right turners as they strengthen. So it means it's going to start moving towards the right. And so really the rotational signature is right in there. Because theirs are, yeah. But overall, yeah, you got some strong winds. It looks a little funky. It almost looks like it's trying to be anticyclonic, but it's not anticyclonic, I don't think.
I don't think so either, but yeah, it does remind me of that storm that we saw, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, the Weather Service, because once again, the Weather Service has better tools than we do. But, so there's your air going away from the radar site. I'm going to look at it on Storm Relative here. That'll help me get a good feel for it. Let's see here. If I can get it to zoom for me. That's strange.
That is very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a weird storm. Okay. But yeah, it's still the strongest area of rotation that we've seen so far today. So we can't just focus on this one though. Let's look at our other tornado warning. Also, they're issuing 2-inch hail possible with some of these storms, which is going to be a little larger than a golf ball. So we still have this rotational signature. It's going to be right in there, right in here. Yeah. It's trying to develop one, and it's still struggling. You actually got a split that's going on right now. There's one that's going to be moving to the north here. Here's a little area that's probably going to split off. And then we're going to keep this one moving to the right. These storms, I mentioned, it's going to be splitting a lot today. This is a day where these storms are going to split quite often. And that one's going to be moving to the north. Also could be a hail producer for northern portions of Archer County and the southern Wichita County if it continues to split and go off to the north. Maybe a little rotation on that one, too.
Yeah, a little bit right in there.
Yeah, just a little bit. I wouldn't expect that one to rotate, at least not in the low levels.
I think this one is just, well, I don't know, because the greens that are going towards the radar, they're getting stronger, but the reds are dissipating.
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting rotation signature.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So we'll keep an eye on it, but yeah, it's definitely a strange area rotation that we're seeing. I just want to say this from the Weather Service just now. All Wichita County, Archer County, Eastern Baylor County, all of Clay County, Jefferson County, Southern Stevens, and all of Cotton County. That's kind of the area that it's paying around. Likely would include Monte County too, and Young and Jack counties. But it's from the Norman office. So they didn't include the other counties. They're saying the tornado threat is increasing. The environment is becoming more favorable, which is what we've been talking about. The wind shear is increasing with that low-level jet starting to kick in. And so they are mentioning to us that, yeah, the tornado potential is increasing now.
I will say that signature lately is getting a little bit weaker.
Yeah, hopefully it's starting to break up.
Yeah.
That would be the best thing. And that's what we've been seeing a lot of today. We knew that was a possibility coming in, that these are going to struggle right here at first. We don't anticipate them to struggle as we get into this evening. Hopefully they do continue to struggle. That's what we're hoping for. But right now they do seem to be struggling. So that's good news, of course. Okay, so
we got these moving out.
Yeah, and moving generally out of Comanche County, and then we still have this kind of little cluster of storms. Maybe trying to get a little bit organized with that one right along I-44 north of Burke Burnett. Maybe getting a little bit of organization in there. Yeah, you got a little bit. You got some
air. I don't think it's rotation, just mostly converging air.
Yeah, well, right here it would actually be diverging air, but it'd be converging further off to the east, though.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we'll have to watch that, but it's trying to get a little bit more shearing going on. And yeah, that's still a rotational signature. Look at it from the southern radar. Just zoom out a little bit, and I want to see its mid-level. I'll have to look over here to really get a good feel for it. Yeah, you won't be able to do that. Yeah, I just wanted to get a look at the mid-level. Mid-level looks almost straight.
Straight line.
Yeah. So there's going to be still our area rotation. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be moving pretty close to 277 here. Eventually, I'm expecting this to turn a little bit more easterly as it tries to mature into a stronger storm. Let's look at our one that's further off to the southeast again. So here's our 2 tornado warnings. And yeah, nothing has screamed fantastic. 100% this is going to produce tornado. You actually got 2 areas. Put on reflectivity for me. Yeah, you got 2 areas. It's trying to cycle some of this activity back to the southwest. It's going to get interrupted though from some of this activity rolling in from the southwest, from that other thunderstorm. It's going to get a little bit of interruption coming in, and so hopefully that really hurts it.
Yeah, and that definitely would be the detrimental interruption.
Yeah, we could see some stronger storms later this evening, but it's been kind of crazy this season. How it seems like the days that we really don't anticipate the tornadoes, all of a sudden we get a large one, and then on the days that it's like, well, we're expecting a lot of tornadoes.
The day we had the Tillman County storm was a marginal risk day, and the day we had the Jackson County storm, the tornado, was only a slight risk day.
Right.
It's just been that kind of season.
Well, and that's why the Weather Service always wants to make this point too. Don't focus too much on the colors. When we show that map, the colors are there, but don't focus too much on them because a lot of times different things can change. They pop up in different areas than were anticipated, and that can lead to some other issues. But this spring has taught us, and the Weather Service mentioned it before, that we have a lot to learn still about severe weather, and it's an imperfect science, and so far it's been a tough one to figure out. Obviously. Okay, had a large funnel. Yeah, someone's reporting a large funnel about halfway to the ground, approximately 4 miles southwest of Windthorst. They just misspelled Windthorst. They're on from the area.
It's right in there.
Yeah.
I don't know, Michael. That velocity signature, is that occluding?
Well, no, it's not occluding.
Okay, it's just interference, I think.
Yeah, it's just interference. Put back on reflectivity. Yeah, there certainly could have been something right there. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. So this storm is starting to make its way away from Archer City, the main core of it, so that's good news for Archer City. But there's another storm that's right behind it. However, the low-level portion of that storm is well off to the west of you in Archer City. But in Windthorst in Scotland, this is the area that's now starting to get closer to you along Highway 281. And this activity, it still maintains a weak area of velocity, a weak area rotation. That's going to be going up towards 277. Still fairly disorganized. I'm not overly concerned about it right now, but we will watch it closely as it goes to the northeast here, getting closer to Dundee, getting closer to Mankins and Holiday, and then into the southern portions eventually of Wichita County. So we're going to keep a close eye on that one. Right now, struggling to organize. Let's see here. Public report of golf ball size hail in Windthorst. Like we said, all these storms are producing hail too. So if you hear us talking about a tornado warning for you, expect hail as well. That's just going to be how it is with these storms. They're going to produce hail and have areas of rotation. So confirm golf ball size hail in this storm. And it looks like this storm has another little split going on too.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, you got one that's splitting off to the north, and that might make this one turn a little bit more easterly. If it holds together, it's starting to have a hard time holding together.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That's the main thing I've been noticing, Michael, is that a lot of storms have a hard time going, like, maintaining their structure.
Yeah, they're having a hard time maintaining intensity. But as we get into once again, this next couple of hours, we're likely going to see this ramp up quite a bit with any of these storms that are able to hold together. Here's some of the activity that's further off to the west. It's about to hit this boundary, which is our dry line. That's further off to the west. And that's going to be another little activity. Kind of crazy, that activity actually formed behind the dry line. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, not very often you see that.
Yeah. It's definitely popped up to the west of it, though. But that is a sharp dry line. It might be a little bit of fronting, too. And so, yeah, just maintaining information from chat. Okay, so southwest of Dundee still, you got that area of rotation. West of Windthorst, southwest of Scotland, you got that area of rotation. So, and that's going to approach 281 here with Scotland and Windthorst in about well, less than 5 minutes likely. That's going to be close to you. So go ahead and make sure you're staying in a safe place in case it does ramp up on us right as it approaches you. You want to be as safe as possible on a day like this. You want to be cautious. And then everyone along 277 and Holiday and to the southwest of Holiday, you want to be in your safe spot too. If you live along 25 here, northwest of Archer City, that's also going to be an area that if you live there, you also want to be in your safe place, away from the exterior walls and windows, small bathroom, small closet.
They say that circulation just west and southwest of Windthorst is tightening.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. Yep, it is. It sure is. In Windthorst and in Scotland, if you live anywhere along 281, you got to get there now. You got to get to your safe spot immediately. And I also want to mention this for everyone. Once again, if you live in a mobile home today, please go out and seek sturdier structure until the storms are over. You do not want to be in a mobile home today with these kinds of storms. They just do not provide adequate protection. So this can be west out of Windthorst, where that area of rotation is, and is making its way kind of more to the east-northeast. So along 281 in Scotland, if you live, generally the warning is, yeah, it includes Scotland. You're just on the edge of it, but this takes a hard northerly turn. It could impact you, but Windthorst especially.
Deer Creek, Joy, Blue Grove, safe spot now.
Yep, you want to go ahead and get there now. Do not waste any time with that area of rotation coming in. Okay, so there's going to be our main area of rotation. Looks like they updated the tornado warning to the northwest. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Still 2-inch hail possible this storm.
They just cut off the back end of it.
Yeah. So they cleared out, but we can tell people in Maybell you're no longer included in the warning. Dundee, you're still included, obviously. Holiday, still included. Dane Corner, still included. And then anywhere along Texas State Highway 25 and near the crossroads of 277,
should we have Kyle go now to Clay, back to Clay? Man,
this is just... we haven't had to deal with this in a while where we have two areas rotation, but neither of them are really dominating. Give me a second. I want to make sure I make the right call. Yeah.
Head back to Clay?
Yeah, I think so. It's starting to look more concerning. And that one that's going, the one that's further to northwest, the structure is just so weird on this one that I don't trust it. Whereas the structure on this storm it's just classic. It's textbook. On this one. So once again, in Windthorst, you got to be in the safe spot now. If this ramps up quickly, it could drop a tornado right over you. Do not waste any time because I'm seeing signs of this rotation getting stronger. And I'm curious. Noah, put back on the reflectivity. Now, it looks like this activity that's on the southern end of it is actually the echo coming off of the western storm. It actually looks more like it would be like part of the anvil of that other storm, but it does look like it's a hook. We got two different storms here that are interacting some. It's tough to tell things, but I wouldn't venture out to say that this is possibly a little hook that's developing on this one with that strengthening rotation. The velocities that are the inflow on this storm is getting stronger. The inflow velocities are much stronger than they were a second ago. This one is ramping up on us. This is going to be a concern. I don't see anything that screams debris being lofted up into the air. I'm curious if the Weather Service has said anything about it, if they've seen anything, because they, once again, have better tools than we do, so we trust them a lot. Okay, they have not said anything about that. Okay, so strengthening rotational signature, though, right over Windthorst. This could drop a tornado right on Windthorst. And Windthorst, you got to be in that safe spot immediately. Do not waste any time. And then as we go further into the southern portion of Clay County, like we said, Deer Creek, Blue Grove, you got to be in your safe spot. Joy, be in your safe spot. You got to get there now. Do not waste any time. Okay, so let's. We've gotten a few new severe thunderstorm warnings. Like I can't repeat that enough times, but y'all just got to be safe here. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning now. It is for Wichita Falls, Lakeside City, Iowa Park, Burke Burnett. Just southwest of Thornberry. It's going to be southwest of Petrolia, but Dean's going to be included in this. So that's going to be all our areas. And Lakeside City, Holiday, once again, is still included in this warning, but also included in the tornado warning. This is going to be our severe thunderstorm warning. It is going to be issued here for ping pong ball size, hail, and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Interesting, they're not even going tornado possible on that one.
It's because of the rotational. That's the history of the rotation. Oh, wait, they did not go tornado possible?
They did not.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good news.
So, I mean, but yeah, that rotation structure you see by Dundee is pretty much died off.
I mean, we obviously can't always know they're thinking, but they might be thinking the same thing I'm thinking, that the structure on this storm is just strange and not classic.
Very odd, yeah.
So if we don't see the rotation on there, we're not going to sit there and say, yeah, it's for sure rotating. Because actually, go back to that one. We were talking about how it's splitting earlier. Let's show it. So here's our split. Yeah, we got this activity splitting off to the north. That's going to be a big hail concern. It looks like two different cores really splitting off to the north. And now this one that's further to the south is starting to turn a little bit more to the east. We'll have to watch see how it organizes as it moves to the east there. And it sounds like Kyle is driving towards this one now, as he actually went back towards that one because it looked better. So Kyle's going to be going back and forth a lot today unless he gets a clear tornado on the ground.
Okay, Henrietta, you are going to be including the new tornado warning they're going to issue here in a second.
Okay, so they're issuing a new tornado warning. It's going to include Henrietta. Henrietta, start thinking about your safe spot now as this warning comes in. Oh, it will not include Henrietta.
Oh, not include. I'm so sorry, yes.
Oh, yeah. You're good. Yeah, it will not include Henrietta.
Oh, it's just the south there.
Yeah, but it is mainly for the storm near Windthorst. Tornado on the ground. We do have a report of a tornado on the ground moving into Windthorst. If you were waiting for me to say that to get your safe spot for some reason, get there now. We got a tornado on the ground. At least one visual confirmation of saying there is a tornado on the ground. And that would venture out to say it is just moving right into Windthorst with this strong circulation. So, in Windthorst, can't stress this enough, you've got to be in your safe spot away from the exterior walls and windows. We got multiple eyes on this now confirming a tornado on the ground with this storm. Okay, so everyone in Windthorst, you got it, and it is strengthening inflow on this one. Got to get to your safe spot. Away from the exterior walls and windows. Small bathroom, small closet. That's where you want to be. Here's your hook echo. I was right when I said that a second ago. That looked like it was going to be a hook. This is a clear hook. This is a classic supercell right over Windthorst. And the tornado is on the ground, moving into Windthorst. Please remember this throughout the day, that if you're watching this via streaming on social media or on our website, it's going to be delayed by a couple of minutes, just how things go through the internet. If you're watching on cable, it's going to be delayed by about 30 seconds. If you're watching on satellite, it's going to be delayed by about a minute. So you want to take action sooner rather than later, especially if you're watching on one of those services. And there's our rotation. We don't have any confirmation of it being a large tornado right now, but it could strengthen up quite a bit quickly here. Yeah, let's show the new tornado warning now. Zoom out. Okay, so does not include Henrietta, but anywhere southwest of Henrietta along 287, you're included in this warning. Bellevue, Vashti, Buffalo Springs, you're included in this warning. If it takes more of an easterly path, it would approach you. But everyone inside this warning needs to respect it. Respect the polygon. Do not wait for me to call out your town and say you got a tornado warning. Dick Horsham, you're also included in this. So anywhere between Bellevue and Henrietta along 287, you are included in this warning. And so Blue Grove, like I said a second ago. And then anywhere, if you live in a rural home in southwestern portions of Clay County, you also need to get that safe spot.
I don't see anything on correlation coefficient that would...
Yeah, but we got eyes.
But we got eyes, yep.
Yep. All right, so zoom into it again.
Just getting stronger.
Yep. It looks a little bit messy, but yeah, that's showing some stronger velocities in there as it's going through Windthorst. Put on CC. Yeah, I don't see anything on CC on correlation coefficient here, but we don't see anything that confirms the large tornado right now. But that is a strong velocity signature, though. That's moving right over Windthorst. You need to be in your safe spot now. We still have our classic hook echo on it, too. It is a powerful storm that is moving through Windthorst. Hopefully it is not a large tornado on the ground. We don't have any confirmation of the size of this, but it is definitely a powerful storm. Okay, so we're keeping an eye. I'm keeping an eye on chat to see what other information we have. Kyle is driving towards this area, so eventually we will have video of it too as it makes its way into more portions of Clay County. Okay, all right, so let's zoom out a little bit. We got to talk about our other storms. Can't say, repeat that over and over, but You got to be in your safe place. The other storms here, still not extremely organized, but still potential for some golf ball-sized hail through more of Wichita County here into northern Archer County. And then also into the western portions of Clay County. Up in Cotton County, this is starting to get a little bit more organized here on this storm. Let's look at the velocities right over Ranlet. Yep, it is. So there's a little area of rotation right there. It's going to be your classic cyclonic rotation, the low levels just a little bit south of Ranlet. We're going to have to keep a close eye on this storm now, too. They are going considerable tag on our Windthor storm. They're going to say this is a large tornado. So confirmed, a large tornado on the ground with this one in Windthor's. Let's read the exact information. Yep, a particularly dangerous situation with a large tornado likely on the ground with this storm that just moved through Windthor's. Hopefully everyone in Windthor's is okay, but it is just moved right through town and now moving to the northeast. So towards Blue Grove, it's going to be going towards you at this moment. It could take a little bit more of an easterly churn. So Joy, you also got to be considering this. And like I said, everywhere along 287 in Clay County, you need to be in your safe spot. If you live southeast of Henrietta, you need to get there now. Buffalo Springs, Vashti area, Bellevue, you've got to be in your safe spot too.
Kyle's heading towards Bellevue.
Okay. Kyle's going to get there and try to intercept it. What's his exact location, did he say?
He just said he's going to Bellevue. He didn't give me his exact location.
Yep, we just actually got a viewer sending a video, I think, of the tornado. So tornado went just right over Windthor, so hopefully everyone's okay in Windthor. So we'll continue to relay any damage that we hear about, any damage reports. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom back out here. We got to keep talking about all these storms. Now I want to see reflectivity on this one actually real quick. Yep, here's your classic hook echo. Classic hook. That's going to be northeast of Windthor's. This is a strong, powerful, classic supercell making its way through the southern portions of Clay County. And like I said, to respect the polygon, there's a reason why they made it so big. These tornadoes, when they get strong and powerful like this, can be erratic. So it could make it more of a northeasterly path. It could occlude and take a straight northerly path like we saw on Thursday and like we saw with the Lockett tornado. It could also make more of an easterly churn. Some tornadoes like to churn south. So it could go towards Buffalo Springs and Vashti, especially if it's strengthening. It could churn to the south. Bellevue, still got to be in that safe place. Classic hook echo. Classic little debris ball there on the front end. It looks like it's starting to go into its storm a little bit. Hopefully, maybe it's occluding a little bit, but right now I'm not going to say it is. You don't see a huge debris signature on it, but yeah, there's your velocity signature. It looks like the velocities are getting a little bit weaker. Maybe it is occluding. Hopefully it is.
I would think by the velocity signature, I think it is.
Yeah, it is turning north. It turned north a little bit right there, right as it moved through Windthor's. So hopefully it is occluding. Hopefully it's weakening. But right now it's still on the ground. We still have a tornado on the ground. Just went through Windthor's, moving to the northeast now, and really about to cross, or just crossed the Clay County border. No, it hasn't quite crossed the border. Yeah, it did. Yeah, just crossed the border. So yeah, it's moving now into southwestern portions of Clay County with this area. Yeah, that's still a tornado on the ground right there. It's going to be a little southwest of Blue Grove. Okay, so... All right, so we continue just keeping an eye, make sure we're not missing anything. And we just got actually a new weather balloon that went up. I'm going to look at that real quick, kind of see what the data is over Fort Worth. Okay, so to tell y'all how fast these storms are going to strengthen today, this is in Fort Worth too, where their environment isn't quite as good as ours. When we have what we call it CAPE, it's just a word for how much instability is in the air. If we're up over 2,000, we're probably going to have some strong thunderstorms. We're up over 3,000, we're definitely going to have some severe storms. And right now, it looks like we're up over 6,000. I mean, the instability is just off the charts today. And when you have instability that's strong, what it means is it's probably going to produce very large hail. And very large hail is going to be a big concern. And also, it means the storms will develop quickly. It's going to go up, and we saw with a lot of these storms that it's initiated and then bang. It was a severe storm, and then a couple of these also produce rotational signatures very early on. So we don't see anything that's developed really too far to the west. We had that one that developed and hit the dry line and died, so that's good news for that one. But all this activity that's further off to the east, all these various severe thunderstorm warnings, we're going to watch all of them closely for the very large hail threat and the tornado threat, and likely still a tornado on the ground moving through southern portions of Clay County. Let's go ahead and look at the velocity. So velocity is still holding strong. There's still likely a funnel on the ground.
No, we just... I was like, we just got a confirmation that it's lifted.
Okay, well, that's good news.
Large bowl, multi-vortex, but lifted. Bowl rapidly strengthening on me side of town now. Oh, wait, no. Now reporting northeast of Windthorst, current time. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so reporting tornado on the ground. Yeah, northeast of Windthorst, so still have a tornado on the ground, and we're getting reports that it's a large one. Someone said it was a multi-vortex tornado, and now it's a stovepipe. The multi-vortex is going to be those large wedges. If you remember the picture of the Wichita Falls tornado, when it had all those different, looked like multiple tornadoes were on the ground, that's what a multi-vortex tornado is. They are more dangerous than your standard tornadoes when they get that strong. But right now it's a stovepipe, still likely a multi-vortex stovepipe. That stovepipe is like the one that we had in Jackson County. It's when it's pretty wide and it's generally even on its size. It's even in width, and so you just get that nice, perfect little cylinder that's stretching down to the ground. So there's our tornado, still confirmed on the ground, moving to the northeast into Clay County. Just moved through Windthorst. So if we get any reports out of Windthorst about, hopefully everyone's okay, but if we get any reports, we will relay that back to you. So I'm hoping everyone in Windthorst is okay after this storm moved through. So that's moving to the northeast there. Continuing to monitor reports. So they got some other spotters out there and about, keeping an eye on them. Just make sure we're not missing any reports. But yeah. Okay. You go ahead and take over for a second. No, I got to rechange my batteries.
Yep. So yeah, still see plenty of inflow there into the storm. So I would imagine there's still a tornado on the ground there just to the northeast of Windthorst. Velocity are still looking pretty good. Let me check correlation coefficient. Nothing from correlation coefficient as of yet. So, but still, like I said, we've got spotters saying that there was a tornado on the ground there in Windthorst, heading right towards Deer Creek. So Deer Creek, Blue Grove, Dick Worsham, you guys need to be in your safe spot right now. Joy, Buffalo Springs, Vashti, and Bellevue, you guys also need to be in your safe spots right now. Respect the polygon. And get to that area now. Quick look at everything else. Still looking pretty disorganized there in Wichita County over Wichita Falls. There in Cotton and going into Stevens. Again, also looking pretty disorganized. We check the velocity. And a little bit of converging air there by Randlet, but... Oh yeah, we just got a picture from a live stream. This tornado is on the ground in Windthorst. Yeah, very powerful tornado. Very, very powerful tornado there in Windthorst.
Yep. So I haven't seen the picture yet, but I imagine it is. I had to get those batteries changed out because when we do long coverage like this, obviously, mics run out of batteries and everything else. So this is going to be the supercell that we're watching as it moves to the east. Yep, large tornado on the ground. That is for sure. And so that's moving to the northeast right now. Let's look at the velocity signature again there, Noah. And so on velocity here, we're getting, still a large circulation. The circulation is getting a little larger even.
Definitely, yeah.
Hopefully it's not strengthening, but that would be a sign that it is strengthening some.
Still nothing on correlation coefficient, but again, we still have tornado on the ground.
We have to remember it's pretty far away from the radar side in Frederick still. So generally speaking, we don't see debris signatures on it super fast. It would have to be lofted up pretty high into the air. The fact that we don't see a debris signature makes me at least hopeful that it missed a lot of Windthorst as it went through. Because otherwise we would expect there to be quite a bit of debris in the storm, but we don't have any confirmation on that just yet. So hopefully it missed most of the people in Windthorst. Let's see here. Overall, we don't have any new reports. We're still watching a couple different areas of rotation, and obviously we're monitoring this tornado on the ground. I actually see Kyle's live shot. I think Kyle is getting a little bit closer now towards getting closer to the tornado. So there's your strong winds going towards, strong winds going away. Let's look at the reflectivity again there, Noah. And yeah,
yep, still strong inflow.
I mean, still classic hook echo. I know everyone that's been watching weather forever, you know what a hook echo looks like, and that's a clear hook echo. So there's your obvious classic supercell thunderstorm that's producing a tornado, and has produced possibly 2 separate ones. I think it's probably been on the ground the entire time, honestly, but that's going to be the area that we're watching continuously as it goes into areas closer now to Deer Creek, getting closer to Blue Grove. Those are going to be the next areas that I think are an immediate threat from this tornado. So if you are in those areas, you need to be in that safe spot. Let's review it again. Small bathroom, small closet, away from exterior walls and windows. Generally speaking, it ends up being that small bathroom, small closet. It might be a pantry. My parents' house, I told them I think the pantry is actually their safest place. And then interior small room, generally speaking, just away from the exterior walls, windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible on the lowest floor. Cover your head, helmet, cushion, pillow. Any of those things, if you have a helmet, that's the best one. But obviously, you can grab a pillow off the bed or grab a cushion off the couch. Most people that die in tornadoes die due to blunt force trauma to the head. And so we want to make sure that you are protecting yourself from that threat. Now, for the rest of Texoma, pick your safe place now. You want to start thinking about it in Montague County as this thing starts to approach you. You want to start thinking about where is the safe place in your home. You want to pick a place to meet. Generally speaking, that's going to be a landmark that can't get destroyed by a tornado, because if the tornado does come through, the worst happens, then you have that potential for having to find a place to meet with your family and friends. And then obviously you want to gather your cushion or gather your medicines, and obviously charge your phone. You want to make sure you have your phone fully charged when this comes through. And then also you want to make sure you have a sturdy pair of shoes on. If the worst happens and you get hit, you want to have a good pair of shoes on, whether it be, tennis shoes are okay, but if you got a good pair of boots, put those on. You want to have that to walk through all of the damage that's come through already. And then also you want to start thinking about, even if you got steel toe boots, that's going to be the best thing to have.
From spotter feeds, it appears the tornado is no longer there.
Okay, well that's good news. I hope it has lifted. But that's kind of how we expected this day to go. We didn't necessarily expect the tornadoes to be on the ground the entire time. It's at least until we got into the later evening hours. That's when there's a better chance for long track tornadoes. But we expected the supercells themselves to be long track, the storm.
I will say that
could produce intermittent tornadoes.
I will say, Michael, that rotation signature is looking a bit more disorganized.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that's one thing that can happen when it gets larger, like it did a second ago. A lot of times it's either gaining in size, or it's either getting larger itself, the tornado, or the other end of it is the rotation is broadening up a little bit, and it's going to allow the tornado to weaken and then dissipate. But yeah, we still have a clear signature there, so hopefully it doesn't drop another one. But right now, I would anticipate it to drop another one. That is why we have the tornado warning still in effect, even though the current tornado has lifted. Yeah, we still have our hook on the storm. Let's go ahead and show reflectivity again. And yeah, we still have the clear hook. So we're going to track this in the areas around Deer Creek and into Blue Grove. Decoy Storm might be staying on the northern edge of this warning, so you all need to be aware of this storm. Let's go ahead and zoom out again. Let's talk about some of our other storms, because we got to make sure we're letting everyone know what's going on. We had just had a storm move through Wichita Falls. Still have the chance for some golf ball size hail with this storm. Maybe a little bit smaller than that, honestly. I think probably quarters are a better bet with that storm. Just moved through Iowa Park. It's going up towards Burke-Burnett, and then moving to the northeast. And this storm is starting to go down a little bit, but a new warning just got issued for Stevens County for the northern edge of this one.
It is baseline. It's quarter and 60.
Okay. I'm going to turn you down a little bit in my ear. You're a little loud. And I can hear myself a little loud, too. Okay, so right now we don't have anything new to report overall on these storms, except for that. We still have this little area rotation that's east of Ranlet. We're going to keep a close eye on that one, but put on reflectivity again on this one. It really seems like it might be, the updraft might be weakening, although we are starting to see a little bit of a hook on that storm, but the updraft itself might be weakening the storm. So hopefully it does weaken and dies off before it can get that rotation going. But this activity, let's go ahead and put on reflectivity again. Yeah, we still have our hook. We still have a clear velocity couplet capable of producing a tornado. That's going to go into the central portions of Clay County. It's going to stay south, though, of Henrietta, really more southern portions of Clay County, and so that's going to be making its way to the northeast. So I don't see anything debris-wise on the correlation coefficient here.
Nothing at all there.
Okay, keeping an eye on everything. Tornado will persist. Tornado threat will persist with wind force storm and is expected to continue for the next 30 to 45 minutes. And that's why the Norman Weather Service is watching it, because then it's when it gets to Monte County, the Fort Worth Weather Service takes over. And so they'll be the ones that are trying to make those decisions. I want to see if they've said anything about what they plan to do. They also have storms that are further to the south that they're dealing with. Let's go ahead and go reflectivity again, because we can watch it. Let's watch the broad view here again. Yeah, so, excuse me, areas to the west, we'd have to wait for redevelopment on these storms, which is possible. Some of the forecast models still want to show some redevelopment further off to the west, but right now it's really making its way mostly through portions of Clay County, Wichita County, far northeastern Archer County, Conn County, moving into Jefferson and Stevens County, eventually going to move into Monte County. It's overall staying away from Jack County so far in Young County, but we got to make sure we don't see more storms develop, because like we've been saying before, if they develop, they're going to develop very quickly and likely organize themselves extremely quickly with these storms. So, yeah, and now the hail threat's going up for more too. We just actually got a report. It's not in Texoma. It's further to the north in western Oklahoma. But just reported 3.5-inch hail. That's larger than a baseball easily. It's getting closer to the size of a softball. So the large hail threat's going up too now. So new severe thunderstorm warning just came in for Clay County. Let's look at that one. And I'm guessing it's this. Oh yeah, it's for the split. Yeah, so that's going to be Henrietta included in this warning. You're going to include areas to the northeast of Henrietta, areas northeast of 287, and northeastern Clay County. You're going to be included in this warning, and that's going to be for the possibility of 2-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, a little bit larger than a golf ball for that 2-inch hail. So Henrietta, there's a good chance for you to get some of that. Still good chances for strong storms across Dean, going up towards Jolly, or just past Jolly, really, overall. I know you got a little storm over you right now, but the stronger activity.
Spotter has tornado on the ground near Deer Creek.
No tornado on the ground. We expected that. And you do see the rotation getting a little bit better. It's holding together. When the rotation fully occludes, that's when it completely disappears. But as it moves easterly, there is a good chance for that rotation to keep on going. And it really hasn't fully occluded. It never fully occluded. The tornado might have occluded, but the rotation itself didn't. It just lifted. It just lifted with the tornado. So that's going to be still near Deer Creek. So in Deer Creek, you got to be back in your safe spot if you left when I said the tornado was no longer on the ground, which I would not advise anyone leaving their safe place during a tornado warning. But out towards Blue Grove, this is going to approach you too. I do want to say, though, for Archer County, you're no longer included in this warning. If you didn't hear me or if you didn't notice that earlier, no one in Archer County is included in this warning anymore. It's all to the east of you. So Dick Worsham, still you got to be in your safe spot. Generally southeast of Henrietta, between there and Bellevue, along 287. If you live in a home along that highway, you got to be in your safe place. So here's our 287 stretching down south. You live along Texas State Highway 148 south out of Henrietta. You also got to be in your safe place too here as we go into this next hour, because this storm is still a powerful thunderstorm with a likely tornado back on the ground. Okay, so, and the hail threat continues to go up once again too. We're still seeing again more reports of extremely large hail. It's further to the north of us here in Texoma, but certainly possible here in Texoma as well with these storms. Let's go ahead and go reflectivity, go a little further north again, and let's look at some of our other storms. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit more organized hook too on that one. So this activity that's moving to the northeast could still produce some hail. But this is actually, I will say, Noah, the herd did pretty good on the last run because it did actually weaken a lot of this activity that was further to the northeast.
It did. I'm very surprised by that. So, yeah, Because all that stuff's getting really disorganized.
Yeah. A lot of this activity that's further to the north from this one, where it didn't have the unimpeded inflow like the southern one did, is starting to get organized. So with that being
that hook's
said,
getting real big on that one again.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a large tornado again that's about to develop. I'm just going to take a quick look at the models. Yeah, it does want to bring in more development closer to about 8 o'clock. And so that would be more activity that we would have to be concerned about tornado-wise. So we're not done with this storm chances just yet. I'm going to look at another more recent run. Yeah, it still wants to bring in a little bit more development. And some of it actually wants to bring in development further south even. So everyone in the tornado watch, let's talk about the tornado watch again for a second here. It is technically a particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch, on this activity. They don't want us to focus too much on the PDS, but that's just what it's called. But tornado watch still across most of Texoma until 11 o'clock here tonight. Does not include Hardeman County, Ford County, or Knox County with that watch, but everyone in Texoma needs to still be weather aware here as we go into this evening. So if we do get redevelopment in the right spots, you could have rotation develop. So we got to be very wary of that as we go into the overnight hour or into the evening hours. All right, let's go back to the reflectivity there, Noah. And let's look at that hook. Yeah, it's developing a little bit better. We're still watching it, and we did have a report of a tornado back on the ground a second ago.
It's going to cross 287 in front of Kyle if it continues.
Okay, so Kyle's getting to a good spot now. So he's because he got down to Bellevue. I guess he got all the way there.
So I'm gonna guess he's right like in here.
Okay, so yeah, he'll be able to have a good eye on it as it comes through. The road network gets tough in Clay County, so he has a hard time chasing these things right on top of him. But yeah, there's your strong winds going away from the radar site on the southern end. The strong winds going towards it. It's not an overly impressive velocity signature, but of course it wasn't earlier either, and it likely produced a large tornado. So we got to keep all eyes on that, and there are people on it and watching, and spotters watching it closely. Still no new reports though since that last one. So there's your rotation. It's just, folks in Deer Creek, Blue Grove, you got to be in your safe spot, away from the exterior walls and windows, small bathroom, small closet. That's where you want to be with this storm. If you have a storm shelter, obviously that's the best spot to be too. So going off to the northeast, it's still a ways away from 287. Why don't you go ahead and do the little thing that gives us the times, the cone. Go and stretch that out.
Yeah, so I gotta get the.
Oh yeah, we gotta see how fast it's moving.
Moving east at 30.
Okay. So just draw it across the warning, though, so we can get the cities. Okay, so here's the general time frame for some towns. As we get, Stoneburg, you're going to be in Baylor County or Monte County. You do not have a tornado warning, but this storm would approach you closer to about 6:08. Bellevue, 6 o'clock. Dick Horsham, you're going to be about 5:54. Blue Grove, 5:45. That's going to be kind of the general time frame. It's going. It's right by Blue Grove. It's slowing down a little bit on the last scan, so it might be a little slower than those times we just gave you. But those are just some general ideas for how fast the storm could be approaching you. The velocity signature still looks decent. We haven't gotten any more confirmations of the tornado right now. We're still keeping an eye on some of these storms that are further to the north too, because the environment's getting better. Like I said earlier today, as we get closer to 6 o'clock, especially by 7 o'clock, the environment gets really good for tornadic activity if we still have storms in the area. And some of the forecast models do want to show some reorganization. Now, there are some different areas where this storm right here is fairly well sheared, not very organized right now, but in Stevens County, you still want to take a note here that, hey, there could be a strong storm that's starting to develop over you in Stevens County, because there is some better shearing on this one. Let's look at reflectivity and look a little further south. Still watching this activity that's moving into Conn County too, overall, and then a lot of this activity is moving out of Wichita Falls, and then most of the activity really is across Clay County, like we've been talking about, and then that's going to move into Monte County. Monte County, you got to be aware right now of the storm that's going to approach you. So we still got that area of rotation. It's not overly impressive, and I'm still waiting to see if we have more.
I was gonna say I want another report of it. Does somebody have it on the ground? Because that would be a very faint tornado if that was on the ground. Just because of how the rotation signature is looking a bit more disorganized.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is getting a little bit more disorganized. There's also spotters going down to Windthorst to see what kind of damage there is. So we'll find out what's going on there. So overall, I mean, we're just waiting to see if this thing will strengthen if it stays on the ground. Let's look at the correlation coefficient, see if there's any kind of debris signature on it. Nothing that I see right there screams debris being lofted up into the air. But, of course, it didn't either earlier when we had that confirmed tornado on the ground. It didn't loft a whole bunch of debris into the air either. Still got your classic supercell. The hook's nowhere near as strong as it was a second ago, but still waiting to see if it can produce another large tornado. Even though there was a report of one on the ground, no reports of the size of it or the strength of it. We're just kind of got a generic report that there was another tornado on the ground with this one near Deer Creek, moving into Blue Grove. Blue Grove, yet once again, say it again, you got to be in your safe spot, away from the exterior walls and windows, small bathroom, small closet. Then it's going to be going closer to 287. Noah, you take over for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, still got that rotation signature towards Blue Grove. Dick Worsham got to be in your safe spot. Bellevue safe spot as well. Got to respect the polygon here. As we look farther north, again, still a lot of this activity is starting to break up. No severe thunderstorm warning even now for Cotton, Wichita, northern portions of Clay County. Obviously, central portions of Clay County does have their severe thunderstorm warning. They are watching an area here in the portions of Stevens County. Nothing too organized just yet, but maybe getting there. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but they have issued the severe thunderstorm warning on that portion. Really, yeah, it's really just this tornado warning we're watching here in Clay County. Just going to take a quick look. I don't really see any more redevelopment. Maybe something there by Altus. Going up real quick, some stuff behind all this, but that's definitely farther to the north. Nothing in our area right now that I see any redevelopment going on, so that is some good news for right now. And then getting back to our tornado warning storm.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the broad view, because I kind of want to talk about this area. They just released a new from the Storm Prediction Center. Do you see it in there in the chat there, Noah? You want to draw
the mesoscale discussion?
Yeah. You want to draw that circle that they drew in there so we can talk about that?
So it's gonna be. I gotta see where. So it's gonna cut through here. It's gonna cut there.
Yeah. So it's generally everywhere it's east of the dry line. It's going right through the western counties. I know our western counties are not included in this tornado watch, but storms could still initiate right over you. It just might take them a little longer to get organized before they push off to the east. And really the best environment is right in this region. So they just issued this. It's a mesoscale discussion. It's not any kind of watch or warning. It's just to talk about the current watch. And they're still saying the threat, and I'll just give you the brief synopsis. Threat for all hazards, including 4-inch hail and strong tornadoes, continues. And likely a better chance and strengthening chance because in this broad area is where we could see redevelopment as well further off to the west, along with our storms that are already fairly powerful, especially the one in southern Clay County. What you got there, Noah?
It should.
And it looks like
Right at the bottom.
Okay, so
I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. Yeah, and then we actually just got some more pictures of a tornado. I don't think it's a new one. I think it's an older one. But yeah, there's still some strong tornadic activity going on right now. And I don't see anything that screams. We got to watch for redevelopment here. Let's go ahead and zoom back in, though, to our main storm. And as long as we still have a tornado likely on it. Okay, so we're losing some organization. There's a strong, there's the little area of rotation. Overall, it's southwest of 287 still. It's going to keep pushing off to the east. Overall, Bellevue, you're still included in it. Buffalo Springs, Vashti, you're still included in this one. And if it's still on the ground, it's starting to make a little bit more of that easterly churn here. We haven't gotten a report. I've been keep looking at my laptop because that's where I see the reports. And right now we just haven't gotten any new reports saying it's still on the ground. We just got that one single report of it on the ground. Now let's put on the reflectivity. I will say it's kind of lost some of that hook.
Yeah, very much so.
So that's good news as far as that goes. I don't want to say we haven't had any reports saying the tornado lifted. Haven't seen any reports of the tornado still on the ground. But right now, I would venture to guess that it's not on the ground right now, although I don't want to say that with 100% certainty, so you still need to be, once again, if you have a tornado warning, you need to stay in your safe place. But if you wave me to say that it's on the ground or not on the ground, which I do not advise you waiting for that, but still, anyways, it's likely not on the ground right now. I would venture out to guess, considering the structure of the storm, but we still have that tornado warning going for the eastern portions, or the southern portions of Clay County into the southeastern portions of Clay County.
I wonder if they're going to let that
you say Kyle? Okay. All right, let's take Kyle's shot here for a second. Hey, Kyle, I see you're getting rained on pretty heavy there. What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, we're in 287 right now at New York Road. We're taking some hail and some high winds along with some heavy rainfall. We're in position for this thing to come across 287 if it's still on the ground or if it does put down again. Back to you, Michael.
All right, thank you very much, Kyle. Kyle's going to follow that one until we get more storms that develop. He's going to follow that one into Montague County.
Yeah, they're going to keep the tornado warning going.
Yeah, so they're going to keep the tornado warning going, even though we're starting to lose some organization with the storm just because the environment is so good for tornadic activity and getting better here as we get closer to about 6 o'clock, like I've been talking about. We got closer to 5, it gets a little better, and then throughout that hour, it just continues to get better until about 7 to 8 o'clock, and then it's at a pretty good level until we get to the hours after midnight. But that's going to be the chances for our best tornadic activity. Now, overall, let's go ahead and zoom out and do the reflectivity. And, yeah, a lot of these storms are now moving northeast into Tillman County. Then you're going to be a little bit trying to get into western portions of Jefferson County. And then you still got that nice long tail on that storm to the southwest. I think it's going to rotate again on us here or get a little bit more organized. I think it's going to cycle on us. In southern Clay County. How long was that warning until?
The warning was until 6, but they said they're going to keep it going.
Oh, they're going to reissue a new one?
So I guess they're going to reissue, yeah.
Okay, so expect a new tornado warning to get issued here on this storm here in the next couple of minutes. We'll see who's all included in that one. But that's really our main storm right now because the rest of our storms, the storms are moving into Conn County, the storms are moving in Jefferson County. This activity is not even severe right now. You do still have that one severe storm up in Stevens County, but overall, this activity is not as organized that's moving into Conn County and western portions of Jefferson County. But still in Clay County, you still got to be in your safe spot until this tornado passes you or this storm passes you. We likely don't have it on the ground right now. And in Montague County, you need to be extra prepared ahead of time now. You got plenty of time to get prepared. Start thinking about your safe spot. Start thinking about gathering up those medicines because this storm is still approaching you here from the west.
Still have wall cloud.
Okay, so we still have wall cloud. That's another report, but right now don't have a tornado. So a new tornado warning. Okay, that's not us though. That's further off to the north, I believe. That they're going to issue that new tornado warning on. Let me make sure. Where? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and the rotation itself is weakening some, but we still have the wall cloud on it. It still has semi-decent structure. If this area out to the west, if it really starts to kind of start hooking on us a little bit more with better inflow. Let's look to the south. What's to the south of the storm? Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, there's area, I think there's stuff way to the south of this one, but not enough to impede its inflow. Yeah, there's one tornado warning down there, but that's not us. So, this is just going to be a situation where we have to keep monitoring this thing and making sure it doesn't ramp back up and drop another tornado on us. Let's see here. So overall, Another thing that's going to be concerning here too, especially with the second round of storms, it's going to be the flooding concerns because we have still fairly well saturated ground. Storms have already moved through once, and likely more storms are going to move through after that with the redeveloping storms that we're expecting here as we get into the evening. And so flooding is also going to be a concern. It's not our primary concern right now, but it is still a concern. So remember, turn around, don't drown, don't drive into any of these flooded roadways after these storms pass. Starting to see maybe that's our cycling right there. Let's
maybe, yeah.
And let's put on reflectivity. Yeah, I think that's our cycling right there. I think it's recycling now. And there's a little bit of a notch coming off of it too. I think it might be cycling right there. Not 100% guaranteed, but it might be. Okay, so our new tornado warning that was issued. It actually does not include Bellevue. Zoom in right there real quick because I want to see if where Vashti and Buffalo Springs are. Are they still included? Let's zoom out a little. Look to the... Oh, they're not popping up for us. Where's Buffalo Springs? I don't know why it's not popping up. We'll go back to it then in a second. That's weird. Okay. But Henrietta, you are included in this warning now. Then areas in northeastern, if you live northeast of Henrietta and northeastern Clay County, you're also still included in this warning. Now, this is going to be for the possibility of, well, the tornadic activity. And then, obviously, also a chance for some hail, some golf ball-sized hailstones. But you need to be in your safe spot now if you live in Henrietta, because this is actually getting pretty close to you. And if you live anywhere along 287 or 82 east and southeast out of Henrietta, you're included in this warning if you're in Clay County. So that's going to be the areas that we're starting to watch now. Remember, stay away from exterior walls and windows. Small bathroom, small closet is usually the best spot to be. You want to, if you have a storm shelter, obviously that's going to be the best spot to be, but you want to be in that safe spot. If you have a little bit of time, maybe grab a helmet out of the garage if you know exactly where it is, like a bicycle helmet, or grab a little couch cushion off of the couch or a pillow off your bed. Use that to protect your head. Most deaths in tornadoes occur because of blunt force trauma to the head, so you want to start thinking about that. But here's our new area rotation. I feel pretty confident in saying that. Now it's just to the south, southwest really of Henrietta. Nothing debris-wise. Nothing as far as a hook right now, but that is our next area of rotation. It definitely did cycle there, Noah.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It looked stronger for a second, then it did dissipate on the latest scan, but definitely cycling.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to cycle, and it's in a good environment to cycle, so we would expect that to continue to attempt it.
Right, 100%. So yeah, Henrietta definitely need to be concerned with this, very concerned with this. Yeah, reflectivity was, I'm trying to see. Still no hook there yet, so no. That's interesting.
No, I don't think there's a tornado imminent right now with it, but it can happen pretty fast. We saw it happen pretty fast right over Windthorst. So we want everyone now that in the morning, remember, respect the polygon. Tornadoes, when they become large, can also be erratic. They can make southerly turns. Sometimes at the end of their life cycle, they make a sharp northerly turn. Large tornadoes are tough ones to tell you exactly where they're going. So you want to start thinking about being in your safe spot now, and you should be there if you're in this warning. And in Monte County, you want to be starting to think about that too. In Jefferson County, you want to start thinking about that as well. Because right now this is on more of a northeasterly trajectory with this storm. Kind of taking a look at some of the environment things for today. Wichita Falls still has plenty of moisture. Dew point at 73. Further west, I'm kind of looking to see how they're recovering. 74 right now in Seymour. Looks like 72 in northern Wilbarger. So there's still plenty of moisture further out to the west. I was looking at that because of the redevelopment that we're expecting here as we go into the evening. We'll have to watch that. So it did cycle. It did not decide to organize that rotation in Clay County. So that's some good news right now. At least currently, it looks like the immediate threat isn't as strong. Still have some air that's kind of sheared a little further south, but I think that's away from the main area where we see the hook. So we're going to keep a close eye on it. Still also the possibility of golf ball-sized hail with this storm. Don't forget about the hail threat. And some strong gusty winds, maybe 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts still possible. But that would be our main concerns with that storm. We continue that severe thunderstorm warning 2 further off to the north up towards Stevens County. Let's look at the one in Stevens again. Yeah, it's going to be mostly making its way. It's getting pretty close. It's right moving through Duncan. Going to be making its way into the eastern portions of the county now pretty soon here. Overall, not overly organized for this thunderstorm. Still 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail possible. Not an immediate threat as far as a tornado is concerned. Now this one's just still in a great environment, has great southerly winds coming into it. This one is definitely concerning. Put on reflectivity again. And yeah, you got some influence coming into the storm for sure. The hook is trying to develop, just really not organizing that well. But that's going to be the storm that we're watching as it makes its way to the east into the eastern portions of the county. Still a golf ball size hail threat, likely just moved over 287. Would not advise travel in this area until obviously the storm passes. But that's going to be making its way further north towards Henrietta right now. It's almost on a northerly path with that portion of the storm. So in Henrietta, if you aren't already, get to your safe place because these things can develop quickly, and it looks like it's going to be pretty close to you. Yeah, the secondary rotation is just in a weird spot.
Yeah.
It is trying to rotate down there, but it's just a strange spot for it.
So there you go, New Severe Thunderstorm warning there.
Yeah,
the Fort Worth office. Yeah,
the Fort Worth office issued this for the northern portions of Montague County. Now, just because you got a severe thunderstorm warning doesn't mean you won't get a later tornado warning. They just preemptively went ahead and put a severe thunderstorm warning out there. So this does not include Montague proper, does not include St. Joe, includes Ringgold, also includes Nacona. And then northern portions of Montague County, like Spanish Fort, you're included in this. Let's go and zoom in a little bit more there, Noah. Okay, yeah, Spanish Fort's still included in this. If you live anywhere along 82 before you get towards St. Joe, but if you live anywhere along 82 in and around Nacona or north of Nacona, or to the south along 175 to the west from there, you want to be you want to be thinking about at least where your safe spot's going to be, because this other storm that's further to the southwest is coming towards you. That's currently tornado warning, but severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for you, and there is a good chance for some large hail. And I'm going to go and look at their official warning that they issued. Yeah, they issued it for slightly smaller hail. It still came on ball-sized hail. Still a concern. Let's see here. Yeah, so they went ahead and issued that because the hail core is going to be getting closer. Hail cores are generally out in front of a tornado when it's moving to the northeast like that, and so the hail core is going to get in there faster.
Yep.
This thing is still trying to rotate, Noah. It's trying to organize itself.
It's trying, but it's struggling right now.
It is, but we're getting closer and closer to that time frame where they're going to stop struggling if they're a mature supercell. Let's look at the reflectivity. Why don't we? And yeah, it's starting to see a little bit, starting to pop up further south. Sometimes this happens when it's trying to develop that hook. It develops little different areas, pockets that pop up on the radar a little bit earlier than others. So we continue this tornado warning in Clay County now. Let's go ahead and, yeah, so strong winds. So yeah, I venture out to guess that this is going to be, you got air moving away from the radar site. It's trying to develop a little rotation there, and if we start to see a hook, I would start to be a little more confident that it's starting to develop a strong area rotation. And that does start to hook down a little bit to the south there. Yeah, we're gonna have an issue here. And then Kyle, of course, is looking at it from the north. Let's see, I think he's turning around right now. I think he's driving. Let's go. Do we have Kyle on the line still? Let's go and check in with Kyle if we do. Hey, Kyle, where are you traveling right now, and what are you seeing?
Yeah, we're in Clay County on 287, just southeast of Henrietta. We're trying to get eyes on this thing. Nothing screams tornado yet. I think it's reorganizing, and we'll be on it.
All right, thank you very much, Kyle. I agree with Kyle. I think it is trying to reorganize. We don't see a whole lot on his shot there as far as anything that really screams wall cloud or anything like that. Do you see any type of wall cloud or anything like that, Kyle?
No, I don't. We're right underneath the mesocyclone, and the whole thing is spinning broadly. The whole thing's wrapping around. So this is the area we're watching for the wall cloud. And as soon as we see it or a funnel cloud, we'll be right back to you, Michael.
All right, thank you very much, Kyle. And yeah, this is, like I said before, we're getting into that time frame where we're expecting these things to stop struggling to keep their rotations going, even though we did have one tornado warning, or one tornado at least, confirmed on this storm itself when it was down towards Windthorst and Archer County. But we're starting to get that time frame where we're expecting this thing to organize a bit more. The later we get into the 7 o'clock hour, too, as we get closer to 7 to 8, that's really the time where the peak wind shear really starts to come in.
New warning there, Michael.
New warning for southern portions of Jefferson County. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be also for the possibility of, also eventually way down the line, the tornadic threat. But initially here, at least some golf ball size hail or ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible on the front end of the storm. So let's go ahead and look back at the reflectivity. And yeah, I've seen this happen before where it looks kind of funky like this, and I think it is definitely trying to reorganize. So in Henrietta, I still want you to be in your safe spot. You still got some air that's going away from the radar site in Frederick right there. Some air going towards it. This might be the area where it tries to rotate a little bit more. Like we were saying, it's crossing 287 right now. Kyle's on it. Kyle's going to tell us if he sees any type of wall cloud or funnel, or obviously if he saw a tornado, he would contact us immediately and tell us. So that's going to be moving to the northeast. In fact, this area I've seen tornadoes kind of come down really quickly before when we get to this part of the region. Now, further out towards Ringgold, you're not included in tornado warning, but take special note of this. It is heading towards you in northern portions of Monte County. If it takes an easterly turn, it could impact Nocona eventually down the line. So in Nocona, you got to be aware of this one too. Stoneburg, it would take a pretty sharp south turn, but it is trying to develop a rotational area a little bit further south than the other one. So got to keep an eye on that too for you. And then Bellevue, once again, you're not included in the tornado warning, but this is making its way across 287 northwest of Bellevue and southeast of Henrietta. That's going to be the main area of rotation. Henrietta, I still want you to be in your safe spot for at least a few more minutes. Let this one slide a little bit further to the east and make sure we don't see a secondary area rotation develop near you. Along 82 east out of Henrietta, anywhere in Clay County, you want to be in your safe spot too. Away from the exterior walls and windows, small bathroom, small closet. That's going to be the best place to be. Now, overall, let's go ahead and look at the tornado watch. Let's talk about the tornado watch for a second, because we still have a good chance for some redevelopment here. I'm trying to get a feel for the time frame of when we would see that, and actually, forecast models have it developing very soon here, actually. Starting to see trying to develop some redevelopment further out to the southwest. So we continue this particularly dangerous situation tornado watch in effect. It does not include Ford, Hardeman, and Knox counties once again. Likely threats, or tornadic threats. We already have one tornado likely near Windthorst, and then also we had some good potential for some large hail. We've seen plenty of hail in Texoma today, not quite as large as some of the other areas are seeing. They've seen larger than baseball-sized hail further off to the north. But that hail threat is increasing along with the tornado threat increasing here with any mature supercell that develops. Let's look at the radar here. Quick check on the broad view of the radar and make sure we're not seeing any redevelopment, because right now I'm not seeing anything. Maybe, no, I think, no.
I think that's interference.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. But not seeing any redevelopment right now. The thing is that I'll see this faster on satellite. I'm going to take a quick glance at the satellite and make sure I'm not seeing anything there. Because, yeah, there's clear skies back to the west, too. So that's going to help get more heat down to the surface and redevelop some things. I do see quite a bit of cumulus starting to pop up there. Is this new or is this left over? Yeah, starting to see a few pockets here. There's still plenty of little cumulus clouds out there, and we actually did see maybe a little redevelopment. Okay, so actually, no, take me to right there. Yeah, you can see it on radar. So here's some of our redevelopment that's occurring. This is actually outside of Texas. Well, it's really actually just on the northern edge of Jackson County. Let's zoom into that if we can there, Noah. So in northern Jackson County, there's still a new storm that's starting to develop. It's on the edge of the county border, but this is some of the redevelopment that we're expecting, and that redevelopment can extend further south into more of Texoma with some of this redevelopment starting to pop up. And this one went up relatively quickly. It only took about 20 minutes for it to initiate and become a strong storm. And so in the areas in southwestern Texoma, in and around Baylor County, Wilbarger County as well, you go even some forecast models even have it farther south into Throckmorton County. There is definitely going to be that chance for some redevelopment here, like we just saw on the northern edge of Jackson County. It's starting to get a little bit of a hook there, Noah. And
yeah,
you got some.
It's weird because it's not in the. You would think it'd be a little bit further south. See what I'm saying? The inflow is like way on the northern edge of that rotation signature.
Yeah, you also have to remember we're getting to a fairly decent distance away from the radar site still.
Yeah, true.
And it can look a little bit funkier than it is. Put it back on the reflectivity though, because yeah, that's still gonna be your strong inflow. That's your inflow going into the storm. Air going away from it. That's still gonna be your tornadic signature, even though it looks like it's a little further south than the hook echo itself. And the rotational signature. I do think this is a storm that is cycling back up, though, and I would not be shocked to see us get at least a wall cloud here before too long on this storm with that activity. Okay, so I do want to relay this back, and initial check on Windthorst, no significant damage. Found light roof damage in trees, and that just came in from some county storm spotters. And so that's some good news there for Windthorst. So it looks like the bulk of Windthorst did not get a more damaging tornado. So that's some good news there for Windthorst. And we haven't had any injuries reported either. So that's all good news right there. So this is going right across 287. It's really crossed 287 at this point. It's at least very near it. And they just, okay. And they actually just, Weather Service just started talking about this, that there's a good chance for some redevelopment here. Wait a second, that's further to the north, yeah. But yeah, there's actually a lot of redevelopment right now going on across western Oklahoma. So I wouldn't be shocked to see some of that redevelopment extend further south. If you want to, just pan up a little bit, Noah. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of new storms developing here further off to the north across western Oklahoma. So we got to watch out for that now here in Texoma and make sure nothing redevelops further to the southwest there. It makes its way east across Texoma. So we continue this one. It does look like it's starting to get a little tighter on the circulation.
I think so, yeah.
Do we still have Kyle on the line? I wonder if Kyle's seeing anything. Did you say we do have Kyle? Okay.
Hey, Michael.
Kyle. Are you seeing anything? It's starting to look like it's getting a little bit more organized on radar.
Not right now. I don't see any wall clouds or funnel clouds right now. I can tell you that it has crossed 287, so it's going up towards 82 at this point. So we're still tracking it. We're still on it. Anything puts down, of course, we'll bring it to you live.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kyle. And so the thing that we're really watching here is just to make sure this doesn't redevelop. It is a day with high-end tornado potential, and every little circulation that we see could be a concern, which is why the Weather Service is issuing tornado warnings. And we saw it happen near Windthorst as well, a quickly developed tornado. And so we're getting to that time frame. Once again, I will continue to repeat that. Every hour we go until about 7 or 8 o'clock, we see that tornado potential increase into the night as the low-level jet starts to kick back up. So we're getting to that time frame where we're expecting these things to hold together a little bit more than they have been this afternoon. Let's go ahead and look back at the reflectivity on this one, because that is still definitely a little bit of circulation that's starting to develop a little bit better, and you still got a little bit of a hook coming down on that. It's not overly organized, but it is at least more organized than it was earlier. I would not be shocked to see it strengthen here even more. Now let's look at reflectivity and zoom it out a little bit more, and up towards Stevens County. You still have that severe thunderstorm warning, and also you got some little cells that are going up a little bit further to the southwest Duncan, about to move into Duncan here in about 5 minutes. Good chance for a little bit of hail there and some strong gusty winds, also some heavy rainfall. And then also this activity that's in Conn County really weakened quite a bit, so that's good news there. And so really the focus is going to continue to be now that storm in southern Clay County, and then we're going to have to watch anything that redevelops further off to the west.